YouTube people, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? I've not live streamed in like 18 days, I think it is. I looked at the last one, it was June 30th. So I don't have anything going on tonight. I have the old home run derby on the iPad in front of me here, but I don't need sound for that. So you can put that on in the background. Keep an eye on that. It looks like J-Rod's tearing things up at the moment. But yeah, just wanted to pop on and chat for a little bit. What's up, Global? What's up, Tommy? I'm not sure how long we'll go. As always, we'll just kind of roll with it and see what happens. Just hang out, chit chat for a little bit, go through questions in chat. I don't have anything super particular to talk about, but like I said, we'll just kind of see where it goes. We are less than 2 weeks away from the National. I need to get packed. That's the biggest thing on my mind right now in the collectible card comic space is the National and preparing for that. Obviously not sure how many people are going, not going. I know travel is a little bit difficult. It's extremely expensive. It's kind of a pain in the butt being in Atlantic City, but I have a lot of stuff I need to get ready because, I have to bring cards and then I got to bring a laptop. I got to bring my backup microphone. I got to bring cameras. And I don't even vlog, so considering what some of these guys have to haul around, it's not that bad. Steven, what's up, buddy? I am extremely excited for the National. I am leaving Wednesday. We will arrive Wednesday evening, late into Philly. Gonna stay somewhere in Philly Wednesday night to get the cheaper hotel room, and then cruise on into the show Thursday morning. Going to the National 101. McCracken, what's going on, buddy? I didn't see you. I thought you'd be at Canton on Saturday. I didn't see you there at Tosley's. Going to the National 101. So here's the thing. I've only ever been to one, so it's not like, I'm the preeminent person on tips and tricks for the National. I'll tell you a couple things I did last year that paid off. And some things I'm going to switch around this year. I'm going to travel lighter. I carried too much stuff on me with the show floor, especially day one. Part of that was I had a lot of stuff in there for like content creation because I wasn't sure what I was going to need, what I wasn't going to need. And I'm not doing that this year. I'm still going to carry a backpack. I go backpack. Big reason behind that is my card case that you guys always see sitting back here behind me actually fits inside my backpack. I have a nice North Face backpack, so I usually am rocking that, and this will slide into that. So if I don't want to carry it around by hand or on my shoulder or whatever, I can put this into my backpack. So I really like having that versatility. That being said, I may not carry this on the show floor outside of Thursday. I'll probably bring it Thursday because trade night is Thursday right after the show. After that, I'll probably just take a couple cards out of here that I'm legitimately looking to move on the show floor or at pop-up trade nights and throw those in my backpack. I learned last year to travel a lot lighter. So that's pro tip number one, travel light, and also bring like water and stuff. Everyone always says that, but it's like 100% true. I have spots to tuck in like multiple bottles of water in my bag. The one thing that I will say, which this, I know a lot of people don't like doing this. Personally, it made my life a lot simpler last year. I had stickers on all my slabs with prices. Even though I was not set up as a dealer, I just had a little sticker. I usually put it on the back somewhere with a price of whatever the current comp was. I checked them the Wednesday before the National, so like the night before, and I priced everything. Part of the reason why I did that was I wasn't sure what the Wi-Fi situation was going to be like. And I didn't want to be in a spot where I wasn't able to potentially check a comp. So I figured worst case scenario, I would have a comp from Wednesday on there. So I went through and I priced everything. Now, last year at the National in Chicago, internet service was fantastic. So this was not an issue. But I could tell you right now, that saved me a ton of time. Just to be able to look at the back of the card and trust that I had priced it the night before. And this market moves a little bit slower than last year's market, just to have that price on there to be able to, like, if someone at a trade night is like, hey, how much on this? And I could just flip it over and be like, $50 is the most recent comp on it. That's my value on it. Saved a lot of time and hassle of playing the let me look everything up on the phone game. Even though I wasn't even set up as a dealer, you're trying to, there's a ton going on. You need to move quick. So having prices of recent comps on the back of cards made my life a lot easier. So that would be my one tip that I did last year that I am 100% doing again this year. Part of the Wednesday night in the hotel room will be pricing everything that I am bringing onto the show floor with me. So I fell way behind on comments already. Kirkland. How was the Kirkland show? Targets at the National. I am looking for high-end Star Wars actor autos is the biggest thing on my list. Potentially Juan Soto first Bowman, but I think prices are going to get a little too juicy on that. And then beyond that, kind of whatever falls into my lap. I have not made the firm list yet. One of the biggest cards that was on my list I acquired last week, and that was the Pedro Pascal auto. This was the number one card. Come on, autofocus. Woo. This was the number one card on my list going into the National. I have some other stuff in this kind of level that I am looking for. I don't give two craps about Star Wars Sapphire and Chrome nonsense, but I do like the actor on card autos. I also agree with this. Crazy Kev makes a good point. Bring supplies. I had a pack of penny sleeves, semi-rigids, and top loaders and mags, just a couple of each in my backpack. Snacks might be more important this year. I was not big on snacks last year, but at last year's National, my hotel was 30-second walk from the venue. So I would actually walk back to my hotel and go up to the hotel to eat lunch, which was clutch as well. Now, this year, that's not really going to be possible because of the location. Yeah, CC2 put out a great video last year, kind of running down everything. So, any guests tonight, Neo? Not planned, but that means nothing. You never know who's going to pop up in chat that I may try to wrangle into coming on, but I don't have anything thrown out. Once again, as most of my live streams typically are, this was pretty last minute, so I just kind of fired up the bat signal and went live. So. M-Perk, what's going on, buddy? Yeah, I kind of figured that was going to be the case. The only reason I went Tosley's is because it's 10 minutes from my house. But I did not have any luck there at all. I do not buy soccer cards. I don't know a thing about soccer. If Spider-Man Metal was out, I'd be looking at Spider-Man Metal, but I don't think it's going to be out in time for the National. Oh, Charles, the winner of Flipping Steve's contest. It's going to be some nonsense for sure. SGC boxes are fantastic. I'm super pissed because I had an SGC box and now I can't find it laying around anywhere. I had one for the longest time that I kept for that specific purpose, and it is lost. It is lost. Yeah, I don't. What's up, line moving frackers? I don't grade cards on site. That's just not my thing. I don't like to go to the National to wait in line for things. So I'm not planning on grading anything on site. I guess if I picked up some banger between now and then that I wanted to get slabbed, would I potentially look at it? Sure, I guess. But that's not really my thing. But I do agree if you are doing that, do it ahead of time. I'm putting a PSA submission together for the $18 value service, but I'm going to mail that in. I'm not taking that with me to drop off on site. So. Went to the Dallas Card Show as a vendor, and it was pretty tough to sell things. I had to take bigger discounts on stuff to move it versus previous Dallas Card Shows. Interesting, T-Rom. So I basically, and I talked to another dealer that was set up at that show, and I saw some other stuff on social that basically said Saturday seemed pretty busy, but Sunday was dead, like dead. And I'm not surprised people were cash tight. One, obviously the current world environment that we all live in. And then two, on top of that, the Nationals in 14 days. So anyone that's traveling to big shows, either A, opt just might to skip that show to save the cash, or, if they're going to spend the money, they're going to be super tight with it because they might be going to the National in 2 weeks. So Tazi's was busy. I just didn't see anything that I wanted. Flipping. I got to make sure Charles room service doesn't get on my credit card. Steve, I know you got a weird work schedule, Steve, but if you want to pop on, I will send you this link here really quick. If you can't, I get it. I know that you're working crazy hours now, but let me fire this over to Steve real quick. Please hold. All right, Steve, if you want to pop on, chit chat for a little while, check your IG. Matthew Wright, what is going on, buddy? Do I think PSA will go lower than $18? 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. I think PSA will be lower than $18. And I 1,000,000% agree with this. Make sure that room service charge is not on your credit card. I would bring whatever, man. CC2 trade nights are wild, especially at the National. Um, you know, uh, I would bring liquid stuff. So football. I mean, obviously, bring stuff that you want to trade. Don't bring stuff that you have no interest in trading at all. Leave that stuff in the room or leave it at home or whatever, because someone will just tempt you if you see something. But I would bring a mix. Steve had really good luck last year laying soccer out because not a lot of people had soccer at trade night. He would put some non-sports card stuff out, and people would get excited about that and get drawn into the table. There's two ways to approach trade night. You either set up at a table, so you say if you could find space, you sit down and you lay your stuff out that you want to potentially move or to draw people in. And if you're doing that, you want a nice little mix, but you want some flashy stuff because if people are walking by, you want something that's going to be eye catching. The second version of that is you just walk around and look at stuff that you want. Walk between the tables and see if something catches your eye and then initiate contact. So it kind of depends on what your style is. We went with, I remember last year at Card Collector 2 Trade Night, myself, Philmington Steve, and Dustin went with what we called Old Man Trade Night. And we just kind of sat there and chilled because we were all wiped out from walking around all day. It's Charles at the National in Atlantic City is not a good mix. I don't know how much lower they go. I don't know when. I'd just be guessing. I have no inside information at all. But I definitely think we see lower than $18 grading fees through PSA. Because here's the thing, they could run specials now left and right. So it might not be 18, it might not be, like $10 a card wide open, but do they do like hey, $10 a card for anything pre 1980 under $200 declared value? Sure, they could absolutely do that. They throw a bone to the set collectors and people that are putting stuff together and want some older or lower value stuff graded on the cheap. So they can 100% do stuff like that. They're gonna, with them having declared value as a way to gatekeep submissions. And they could do the lottery systems that they have now. They have so many tricks in their bag for how they can present cheaper grading prices. Now, straight open up to anyone and their sister to submit, that's a little bit of a different story. Do we see cheaper than that that's just posted on the website that you could just go on and do anytime that you want? Maybe we get to that point. Maybe it settles in at around $15 a card, value service, 6-month turnaround time. See what happens with specials pushing it cheaper. Don't know. Sorry about that, guys. Needed a little drink. No, Paul, I have never done that. Staying at Bally's. That's the other thing that's going to be weird this year with everyone all spread across the boardwalk, basically. Chicago, everyone's close together, so it's easy to be like, "Hey, we're meeting up here. Walk over there." That's not that simple. I know, like Filmington's doing a thing on Friday night at some place, and I'm like, "Okay, well, cool. How am I going to get there?" Because I hate Ubering, especially in Atlantic City. It's probably going to cost a fortune. I'll have a car there, so I could technically drive around, but we'll just kind of see. Small local show dealers were 2 to 3x current comps. I couldn't make a single deal, and I think I was the only guy with actual cash at the show. It's one of the most frustrating things in the world. I ran into that this week at my local show. There was cards that I wanted to buy that I was willing to pay full eBay prices for. And we're talking like $6 to $10 base cards. We're not talking like, slabs or anything crazy like that. And they're just like, nope, I'm 4x comps. And it was definitely a little on the frustrating side. Sorry, just give me 1 second. I am pulling up a card that ends soon on eBay that I might be bidding on. I got a new toy today. I'm not sure about it yet, so I don't want to go crazy. But I got one of these. This is not going to show well. Let me pull this comment off here real quick. Sorry, average Joe. Have you guys ever seen these before? They're digital microscopes. I got this for like $60 on Amazon. Let me turn this on. This is not going to work well in this current camera setup. So I'm going to try this out. If it works, cool. I may end up doing a video on it. We'll see. But yeah, you turn it on and it's got the little screen up top here. And it's got a little LED light down here. And then you can once again, this is not the best presentation for this. I'm working backwards. This is a disaster. This is not good TV. Obviously the glare is terrible because it's in the card saver, but you could pull up and, look the card over. I got this mostly for corners. I usually don't look cards over that tight, but I'm getting old and it's harder to see. I'm just going to be straight honest with you. So we're going to see how that works. If it works, cool. Like I said, maybe I'll do a dedicated video on it. I'll link to it the whole 9 yards, but I don't want to say that it's good, bad, or indifferent yet because I used it for 30 seconds to make sure the thing worked. I literally just got it off the front porch 10 minutes before I went live. Where did I leave off at in chats? The PSA deal does end on 7/31, but you could drop off at the National. PSA will be at $10 a card before next year's National with caveats. Like I said, specials, kind of like what we talked about. Not every card makes sense for SGC. Sorry. It's facts. Not every single card makes sense for SGC. I would rather send this stack of first Bowman prospects off the PSA to marinate at $18 a card. I am perfectly fine with getting these back in 6 months because I'm not planning on selling them until February or March of next year anyway. So if you're not using, as they just say, all four, if you're not using all four of the major grading companies, you're probably doing something wrong because each one has their place. If you are so brand loyal to one grading company and you're just in it for the money, personally, I think you're not doing it right. Each company has their place depending on what you're doing. Now, if you're grading for PC or whatever, do whatever the hell you want. That's a whole entirely different story. But if you were grading to resale, there is no, I don't want to say there's no wrong answer, but you should be using all four companies to some degree or another. You might only use some sparingly. Like I haven't used BGS in a long time, but BGS is a tool in the toolbox that on occasion makes sense to use. Yeah, I mean, to MPerk makes the perfect statement here. You have no idea what's going to show up at trade night. It's wild. It does look like a boat fishing finder. You're not bad. You're not wrong. CSG really dropped the ball raising their price to $15. It was weird timing on that. I mean, I talked about that with them when I had them on. You know, I think that was just a matter of cost of doing business. I don't think, you know what I mean. I think that come down to everything in the world's getting more expensive, and we need to charge more. That's what, you know. Ugh. I think it might be as simple as that for that one. But you know, CSG, man. If you did not watch today's video, I would highly recommend going to check it out. Today's video that I posted this morning was me cracking some CSG slabs, and the comment section, whoo boy. I guess I gotta say some Hail Marys tonight before I go to bed, because otherwise, you know, you crack a slab and you're a naughty boy. Um, yeah, the comment section on that video was wild. It is what it is. You know, if you could get a CSG 9.5 for the same price as raw, it makes sense to crack that and send it to PSA $18 a card. It just does. Yeah, it's a gamble. It could come back a 9, but you know, on specifically on the Noel autos that I cracked out in a PSA 9, these are selling for $60. A CSG 9.5, I paid like 50 or 55 for. So I could get CSG 9.5s for this a little bit more than raw and less than a PSA 9 price. I'm gonna roll the dice on that every time. Every time. Yeah, it might be too time consuming. I don't know. I just it's nice to kind of have it there. I don't know that I'll use it on every single card. I generally just eyeball stuff and it works pretty good. But if I can come up with an efficient way to use that, then I might bust it out. Or it'll just be nice to have to confirm something in case I don't like the way something looks and it's just hard to see with the naked eye. I could throw it underneath there as like a backup. So that's the main reason why I got it. And it was not that expensive. It was like $50. Watson stuff's still pretty tricky. Magnification's pretty good. I forget the exact, but the screen is 1080p, so it's HD. It's not 4K or anything crazy, but you can really zoom in. Like I said, once I get a feel for it, I'll probably do some sort of actual like video on it, kind of talking about it. Once I kind of get the feel for it, but I don't want to, you know, I don't want to endorse it because it might be crap for all I know, but it seems pretty good just monkeying around with it for a few minutes. 16-month PSA order finally moved to QA2. I think we see an SGC price drop in the next 2 weeks. I honestly do, either between now or at the National. You should have come up and said hi. You're wrong, Joel. You're wrong, and you will continue to be wrong. You crack pretty much all CSG slabs if you can get good value in a PSA 10. Like I looked at what did I look at today? Juan Soto Topps Heritage PSA 10. This is just base paper, nothing crazy. And a CSG 10, they're comping for 55 to $60. A PSA 10 of that card is 150 to 170. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And I like, don't get me wrong, I like CSG. The slabs are fantastic. I have a Ken Griffey Jr. card. My auto coming back probably today or tomorrow, actually probably tomorrow now. It's too late now. That card's coming back to me tomorrow that I sent to CSG to be graded. They're fantastic for PC. They are fantastic for like, well, I don't know about fantastic, but they're maybe okay for ultra low end. I love the slabs. They're fantastic, but the secondary market does not support them right now at all. At all. They comp the worst out of the big four, and it's not close. They're perfect for PC stuff, though. Any PC card that I own that I'm not looking to resell, I'm sending to them without a question. I love the slabs. So I'm excited to see what the Griffey looks like in it when I get it back tomorrow. For sure, 100%. It's just not blind, you know, buy every 9.5 and hope that it tens. But so here's the problem. And I was talking about this with someone yesterday, actually. From a customer perspective, SGC at $30 and immediately turning cards around is fantastic. It's great customer service. Your card's there for like 48 hours and it's on the way back in your hands and it's great. From a business perspective, if I'm like upper management guy sitting in my, white collared shirt or whatever, I'm going, hey guys, the smallest disruption to the market, and we have no work to do because you have no backlog. Like literally, no, they have literally no backlog. From our perspective of sending cards in the grade, fantastic. From an actual business perspective, it's probably scary as hell because if all of a sudden PSA rolls out tomorrow and they're like, hey guys, guess what? We cleared the backlog 2 months early. Bulk is $15 a card, 4-month turnaround. Economy is $30 a card, a 1-month turnaround, this, that, and the other thing. All of a sudden, SGC's work potentially dries up fairly quickly, and they have no backlog there to fall back against until they can figure out what they want to do. That gets tricky. As a business perspective, I think you want a little bit of cards sitting there, not months and months and months worth, but you want work there to do. So if there is a disruption in incoming orders, you still have some stuff for the workers sitting at their desks to process, to work on, to get out the door and have steady stream of income coming in. With zero backlog, you're playing with fire a little bit. From a customer perspective, it is absolutely fantastic. Fantastic. But I think from a business perspective, it's a little scary. So I do think we see a price drop. I don't think we see a big price drop, though. I could be wrong. Once again, I know nothing. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with that. Sorry, I just got to check this card that I am potentially bidding on. We're going to skip that first one. 1 second, guys. The only problem with live streaming is you miss out on all your auctions. Okay, I didn't like the corner on that one. We're going to skip that one. We're skipping that one. No good. I can't show you what I'm bidding on because you guys will sneak in and try to snipe it from me. Oops, those are the ended ones. This one up. Riveting television, I know. Okay, I like the looks of that one. Right, we're going to keep that up. Potentially swing back on that. I'd be cracking 9.5s all day, but I truly believe it's harder now to get a PSA 10, and it scares me a little bit. Yeah, I mean, tinfoil hat conspiracy, go whatever you want to do, but when PSA 9s outsell 9.5s, it's worth the risk. Even SGC 9.5s are tricky. Joel, you just don't understand math, buddy. Just do not understand the math. You got to be willing to take a little bit of risks. I'm not in NFL mode yet. It is just baffling why people say sell their CSG labels so low. I mean, it is what it is. You run them at auction. That's what happens. I need to dig into it. There's some like really staggering numbers coming out from the PWCC stuff in regards to that whole like grade at 10-day turnaround time, $20 cards. Like the number of cards that are on the weekly PWCC auctions that are just going unsold. Like they're not getting a single bid. So they don't reach the $20 threshold. So PWCC keeps the cards. There's some data going around on Blowout that I need to take a look at. I just haven't dug into it yet. I'm not sure. I didn't dig into the whole group submitter thing on that. I don't use a group submitter, so. I do know what the Griffey auto graded. I cheated and looked. I have no willpower whatsoever, and I looked. Yeah, SGC does have the declared value limit. You're 100% right about that. Because they have no declared value on anything ultra modern. So you could literally send whatever you want. We'll see, D team. We'll see. We have the weekly gem rate numbers, and we know that SGC has no backlog at all right now. So we know exactly how they're doing on a week basis, basically, because we're seeing with them having like a 48-hour turnaround time, they're grading 3,000 cards a day. it's easy to tell if their submission levels drop. If all of a sudden they go a week straight grading 2,000 cards a day, you know things aren't going great. That their submission levels dropped all of a sudden. So they say they sold out of everything again, so I don't know. Like 5-day badges and all that stuff, they sold out again this week. I do think it's going to be lighter. I 100% do. The hobby's not in the same place that it was a year ago. You have less COVID concerns now, I guess. Kind of it was a little bit still scarier last year, if that's your thing. But the travel wise is such a pain in the butt for this one. I don't want to like crap all over it already because I haven't been there yet and seen how it played out. But I'm not a fan of what I'm already seeing. So I send thick cards and mags to all grading companies. Yeah, I don't disagree with you. A lot of vintage stuff looks really good in SGC. I have my 58 Jim Brown is in a SGC, and I'm not touching it. Looks great. Mm-mm. You always got a peak. Interesting, Red Ice Mac. That would have surprised you went SGC with that. Yeah, I mean, exactly. Well, if you break, so when you're cracking stuff out or doing whatever it is, if you come close to breaking even if you're sending 20 cards in and you're breaking even or close to even on PSA nines, that's all you need to do. Send 20 cards in. If five come back a PSA 10 and you break even to take a very slight loss on a PSA 9, then you're gonna be way ahead of the game. Like that's the ball game, folks. That's the game we're all playing. You're not going to win on every single one, but mm, 100%. 100%. Don't just blindly buy. Don't just blindly buy. Say that 10 times fast. Now, the CSG 8.5, part of the reason I bought that one, I got it like 20 bucks less than what the raw card was going for of that card. And two, I wanted something to practice on because I'd never cracked a CSG slab before and I didn't want to practice on the 9.5. So I said, perfect. I get a discount on the 8.5. I'm buying it for less than raw. And I could practice cracking on this one to make sure that I don't completely F this thing up. With the CSG specifically that I cracked in this morning's video, all of them outside the 9.5, I paid less than raw for. And damn it, I missed my auction ending. Son Got me good. Got me good. Right, we're gonna bid on this one. Bidding on this one. Whoops. Sorry. Live bidding on things. I thought Steve was gonna pop on and help me out so I could shop and he could talk, but he looks like he's bailing on me. Mm-mm. Yeah, old sports Dustin Sports Card Dad bought and paid for by SGC. You'll find out. There'll be a video on it in like 2 days. I should have it in hand tomorrow. It'll probably be Thursday's video. Yeah, the whole Philly to AC thing on the drive is not a ton of fun. Is there anything else? There's a couple spicy things ending tonight. Yeah, so and that's the thing, talking about the national and attendance, there's going to be a ton of people that can drive into this thing, which is, I think, part of the appeal to why they have it in Atlantic City. You have Baltimore, DC, Philly, Boston, New York, all within very short driving distance to get to this thing, among a lot of other places that I skipped over. that probably didn't attend last year's national. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of first time national goers at this thing because of the location. It's very easy. I bet you Saturday is packed because it's really easy to come down from New York City for the day. I bet you Saturday is going to be slammed in there. It usually is anyway, but last five ever you saw them already. It was this stack of Bowmans. I did it in the video the other day. I just did a mail day video of what I've been buying. It was all this stuff for grading. I'm stocking up on Raw for that $18 thing. %100% agree with this comment. 1000% agree with this comment. CSG and SGC 95s are collector's grades to buy. Cards look amazing and they are cheap. Don't want to receive that number on a card you send in, though. 1,000,000%. And I think they make great targets for potential cracks. It's definitely an angle. Definitely an angle. For sure. For sure. For sure. For sure. I would just assume a Mac Jones Prism Red Ice, you would have to send it a higher tier anyway, so you'd be getting it back pretty quick. I don't know what that card sells for raw, but like that's something that you could potentially express to PSA. Yeah, exactly, from the bench. I think I don't know. I'm not like big into like who has the best farm systems to make a potential deal for Juan Soto and all that nonsense. Of all the teams listed, I would rather him go to San Diego than the New York teams. I think him and Tatis on the same team would be a ton of fun. Cody Bellinger's been a disaster. And I'm sending, to be fair, like I cracked all three of these Noels out in that video this morning. The 9, the 8.5, and the 9.5. I'm sending all three of them just for shoots and ladders, just to kind of see how they grade. I'm sending all three of these, even though I know the one has a bum corner. And it actually, the corner actually looked better when I got it out of the slab. What the hell does this mean? What is this nonsense? Oh, okay, good. I won that auction. We're determining the winner. Please refresh the page. I've never seen that before. Of course, it was a Probstein auction. We are determining the winner. Please refresh the page. That sounds like I got shilled. Luckily, it was only a $20 card. Okay. Bidding history looks legit. I didn't get shilled. Cool. I bought a, what did I buy? I bought a Noel Blue Refractor from Bowman Chrome. Base. Not base, just non-auto. Just depends what you're sending and how fast you're getting it back. Depends what you're sending. Soto's going to the Mets. PSA crossovers are a nightmare from everything I've heard. I've never done one before. That's a tricky one. To really have a legitimate shot, you'd probably have to crack it. And that's scary as hell on a big card. So you might be better off just leaving it in the BGS 9.5. Or bite the bullet and pay to cross it, but that's a tricky one. I wouldn't personally do that. I would probably just leave it as a 9.5. I know I've thought about, I have my my Giannis is a BGS 9.5. It has 2 10s, a 9.5, and a 9 subgrade. And I didn't try to cross this, and I'm scared to crack it that it'll come back a PSA 10 or a PSA 9. About a $500 swing in value from a BGS 9.5 to a PSA 10. This goes for about $700. A PSA 10 goes for about $1,200. So Maybe I'll look at the corners under my new digital microscope. But yeah, 10 centering, 10 surface, and 9 5 edges, 9 on corners. And I think I know what corner it is, and I don't think it would PSA 10 with that corner. I really don't. I don't know. Yeah, there's no way you'll be able to see that on camera. Not with a camera set up like this. Ooh, I've quickly fallen behind on comments again. That contract actually wasn't that good when you kind of broke it down. I'm excited for Cavs basketball. Very excited for Cavs basketball. Yeah, what is? I've never seen that before. I have absolutely never seen that before. Is that new? I mean, you just said it's new. It must be new. Tua and Trey Lance, I don't understand. Hey, what's up, David? Well, I want it for $26, so screw them. Do the Yankees have the prospects to get a deal done? I heard CSG is grading a little easier after changing their scale. Anyone else hear the same thing? Yeah, I heard the exact same thing from Andy, their head grader, when I had him on for the interview. I literally asked him that question, Michael, if the grading standards eased up when they changed the grading scale, and Andy confirmed yes. When I interviewed them, he said it live on, not live, but pre-recorded on these very airwaves. So yes, I have heard that directly from CSG's head grader. Specifically, he cited surface. They lightened up on surface, on how tough they were being on surface. Yeah, I'm not up on like minor league farm systems. That is definitely not my thing. Other than some Indians prospects now, because they make a ton of sense for $18 PSA grading. Yeah, the 440 number is very deceiving because it's like 440 over 37 years, so it's really not that good of a deal. That's the first time I've seen it. Definitely the first time I've seen it. Don't like it. On a lower end card, it doesn't matter that much, but uh, how do I feel about the Browns this year? Not great, honestly. I haven't felt great about them since they made the Deshaun Watson trade. I think Zion's going to be a hot name at the National. That's just a prediction outside of football. Football is always hot at the National. I think Zion's going to be a lot of people looking for him, to be honest. Smash the like button, boys and girls. Got like 150 people in here, and I got like 15 likes. Come on, slackers. Jeez. If you don't want to smash it, just gently caress it with the mouse. That's fine too. Yeah, I agree, Simon. And on this one, I think I could see why the corner got a 9 corner, so that makes me to just leave it. As of right now, I don't have like a home per se that I will be posting up at. I'll just be roaming the show floor. I'll be at Card Collector 2 trade night, but that'll probably be like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Other than that, I'll be on the show floor Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Thursday night, I'll be at Card Collector 2 trade night. Friday night, I believe I have an event with Filmington, but I don't remember when or where. Filmington, if you randomly happen to be watching, you could feel free to pimp that out in chat if you so choose to. Um, Saturday, I am not 100% sure what I have going on yet. I do have to get a friend of the family asked me to get a Reggie Jackson autograph. So I will be in the Reggie Jackson autograph line on Saturday for a little bit. Beyond that, that's the only thing I know for sure. I might be doing something at the collectible booth with the My Slabs guys. Um, Matt and Ken invited me to potentially do something with them on camera for a little bit, but I don't know when and where that's going to be. I think it's going to be Friday, but I'm not sure when. I guess follow me on social, Twitter, IG, etc. It's the same neocards and neocards underscore comics on Twitter and neo underscore cards underscore comics on IG. If I am like, hey guys, I'm gonna be here for a little while, I'll probably tweet or IG post that out or something. So yeah, I mean that Washington team's a freaking mess. Yep, I agree. People just want tens. We're simple people. We just want tens. Oops. I just don't see Watson getting a short suspension. There's too much outside pressure. Pretty much. When you read the comment before answering, it sounds like I'm listening to my ex-wife argue with herself. Don't listen, just watch. That's funny. That's really funny. I have 0 cards in the eBay vault. I think it's still 750 and up only, and I don't really buy a lot that price range. At least that I wouldn't want in hand. I need that eBay vault stuff to get to a lower threshold. DOA, are you going to the National? I can't remember. Are you confirmed in? I agree with this. There's no prospect untouchable for Soto. He's 23 years old. Soto's basically a prospect. I mean, that since like forever, yeah. No one wants to buy at bin right now because everyone wants deals. So unless your bin is super cheap, no one wants to touch it. Because everyone thinks they could get a better deal at auction. So nothing's moving. Cool national only things. The biggest thing is that all the big companies are there. So check out their booths. SGC or PSA, when it comes to thick RPA cards, that's the one use case for BGS right now. So I would actually consider BGSing that, honestly. Yeah, every bin that I ever look at is usually ridiculously high priced. Will the Thunder make the playoffs in 2 years? It depends on if they cash in their assets or if they're still trying to play the draft pick game. That their team's pretty talented. So I could potentially see it. Watson can do whatever he wants. That doesn't mean he's gonna win. Yeah, if I was a Nats fan, I'd be pretty distraught about losing Soto. I didn't make a home run derby pick. I really didn't. That reminds me. In honor of the home run derby. Hold on a second. We're gonna do a giveaway live. So it's whoever's gonna be the fastest. Get ready. You're gonna need to go do something. So open up another tab. Hold on, let me scratch this off. When is it? Wait, let me make sure that this is still good before I do this. Expiration date. All right, hold on. I'll tease this for what I'm gonna do. There's not gonna be anything special. This is just literally gonna be who's the quickest. But I gotta get this thing off here. Hold on a second. All right. Here's what we're gonna do. I've got a bookmark where I'm at in chat. In honor of the home run derby, I pulled this like a month ago. out of some random tops packs. It's the home run challenge thing. So I scratched the back of this. I'm gonna flip this around. It's for Nolan Arenado. Whoever fires it in first gets it. So I'm just gonna flip it around. The redemption thing is redeemed. So if you want a shot at this, it's all you. If you win the grand prize and go to the home run derby, if you get to take a guest, you have to take me. That's the only restriction. I won't hold you to that. There you go. Home run challenge. There's the website you need to go to, and there's the code. I'm going to hold this up there for, I just scratched this, so this is not used yet. So whoever gets to it first gets to fire it up. And I'm going to scroll through comments and get caught back up again really quick. This is a little special, little, you know, nothing crazy, but. I'll hold that up there for about another 30 seconds or so. DOA says, I am in for the national. Okay, someone put it in chat, so I'll go ahead and pull this down. My views drop off because you all ran to the Topps website. Yeah, I would be very hesitant to say. I mean, I know this isn't true. I see a lot of Topps Dynasty stuff in PSA 10. I just lost at auction. You still have an open invite, Steve, if you want to pop on. It's definitely a buyer's market, to Paul's point here. It is 100% a buyer's market. Justin in the house. I see him later down in chat. What's up, Justin? I know he can't go to the national. He's sad. Sorry, I'm way behind on chat now. Like, way behind. Hey, Emperor, if you could pull off her holding us a table, that would be fantastic. Justin, what's up, buddy? Justin, when are we getting Spider-Man metal? When are we getting Spider-Man metal, Justin? I know that you have no inside sources. Well, you actually might have inside sources, but. Would I go to a West Coast Los Angeles National? Probably if it was the National. If I had enough time to like plan it out, I don't see why not. The only thing that would suck would be the flight. I do like, you know, I'm biased. I live in Ohio, so I can East Coast National drive to pretty much any location it would be. Oh, so you all right? I'll let this cat out of the bag here. I may be attending New York City Comic Con. I don't know yet. I applied, but I haven't heard back from them yet. So we shall see. I could go without being approved for an application. I could just buy a ticket, but I may attend New York City Comic Con in October. I don't know for sure. Oh, we got Swaggle in the house too. No, not San Diego, New York. Sorry, buddy. San Diego Comic Con, the world's largest Comic Con, being the week before the national, it would be is wild stuff. If anyone's pulling the double dip on those two, props to you, man. That would be the only advantage to West Coast National. Like if the National was in LA this year, you could go to San Diego Comic Con the week before and then just stay out there and then go straight into the National from San Diego Comic Con. If you did San Diego Comic Con and the National back to back, there is like 105% chance you're getting COVID before the end of that. It's on ESPN. Yeah, seriously. Swaggle House. If you are not subscribed to both Swaggle and Spidey, you should definitely go check out Spidey Hits, aka Justin. He has been a guest on the channel before for a bunch of good Marvel card information. And then Swaggle House Comics is an absolutely fantastic comic book channel. I have made some guest appearances over on his side of things on some live streams in the past. Go check his stuff out. I got Swaggle. We got the X-Men on display. I got all the X-Men out. I got my 4 favorite covers right there. We got X-Men 11, little Jim Lee action, the X-Men Adventures, classic X-Men #1, the giant size X-Men, and then I got the 2 classics with the first appearance of Sentinels and the first Scarlet Witch back there. I just switched up the backdrop. I had all Spider-Man stuff back there. I switched it up to X-Men. And we got the case. It's down there. Just so let me pull the comment down right there. We got the case of Double Masters Magic cards sitting on the shelf down there. Just saying, those have already gone up quite a bit. I bought that case for $2,000. They are currently at $2,700 a case in like 2 weeks. So I'm feeling pretty good about that one. Ooh, and now I'm out of focus. There we go. Yeah, we got all the Marvel stuff in fired up here. Spidey is my new Saturday morning cartoons fix. It's pretty good. Pretty good. It seems like the old comic book market's starting to feel the pressure too that the sports card world is. I see a lot of red down arrows in comic book YouTube thumbnails recently. I'm not sure they're not G.I. Joe cards, Paul. I see your comment. But it does seem like the comic book market's starting to feel the old effects. Did someone get this? Did we have who got this? Lay claim to yourself in chat, people. Who was the lucky one that got it? We need graders' comments on cards. Need the transparency to be the first grading card to do it. Yeah, I get TGT does it, but we need one of the big 4 to do it. We really need one of the big 4 to do it. You don't need 130 point anymore. Just go by YouTube thumbnails. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. House hunting sucks. That's how it's going. We're being very picky because we are not in a hurry to move. We do not have to move. We have no need to move. We would like to move. We would like a new house. The wife and I are still in our first house that we bought, before we got married. And we are ready for like a 2-car driveway. Single car driveway sucks. We like our house. It's perfectly fine, but we're in no hurry. So we're being extremely picky. We've looked at a lot of houses. We've put 2 offers in. 2 official offers in and got outbid on both. I think we went 35,000 over asking on both houses and got outbid. So that's the state of the housing market. It has cooled off though. So, but lately there just hasn't been much coming on. We may venture down the path of building. That's next on the docket. We might look at meet with a builder and kind of see what that option looks like. We've been hesitant to go that route, but might have to head that way. What's good about the National? Honestly, hanging out with everybody, to be quite frank. Hanging out with everybody is absolutely fantastic. I had a great time last year at CC2's trade night. Emperk was there at our table for a while hanging out. Myself, Steve, and Filmington hung out pretty late that night afterwards. Had a good time with those guys. I had a great time at the pop-up trade nights at the Lowe's Hotel. Once again, doing deals, but then just also hanging out with people. I had a fantastic conversation with Sam from Women of the Hobby and Ty from the Bullpen LA in the lobby of the Lowe's Hotel for like an hour. one night on like a Saturday night at like 2 o'clock in the morning or something crazy. That sort of stuff's fantastic. Just Northeast Ohio, Stark, Summit, County. We're Akron, Canton, Cuyahoga Falls area. We're pretty open. We don't have kids, so we don't care about school districts. So I don't see them reprinting collectors boxes. Maybe they do. I don't know. I think that would be the first. They've never reprinted double masters before, I believe. Correct? I mean, it depends. I mean, houses range in Ohio from 150,000 to 5.5 million, just depending on what you're looking at. Average cost, few hundred thousand for something decent. 250,000, you could probably get a pretty nice house. Not like mansion or anything crazy like that. But how Ohio is one of the lower cost of livings. Hey, what's up, Superbad? I haven't bought any MTG since Khaled. I'm trying to boycott. Yeah, the last time I played physical Magic was probably physical Magic. Like the original. What set was Eternal Witness in for the first time? That was the last time I played physical Magic on a competitive level. Was when Eternal Witness was hanging around. I was playing like a red-green deck with Eternal Witness and some red slug thing that like you paid 1 red and removed like 10 cards from the top of your library to deal damage or something like that in standard. I always like to play like red-green beatdown. I usually like to play aggro decks. I wasn't much of a control guy back in the day. But I think that was around Kamigawa block or maybe one of the artifact blocks was the last time I played physical Magic. And then I grew up on Magic in middle school, third edition Magic, Hypnotic Spectre, Royal Assassins, Shivan Dragon, Nightmares, Sarah Angels. That was my bread and butter, man. AIH, what is going on? Any update on Marvel Metal Spider-Man? No, we were actually just talking about that a little bit ago. Marvel Metal still continues to be delayed. I think the best guess everyone has right now is August for Marvel Metal. Yeah, Columbus is more expensive than Northeast Ohio, that's for sure. But Northeast Ohio is still pretty reasonable. Yeah, I don't think they reprint, but I could see distributors holding back. At least of draft boxes. I don't know about collectors. Yes, Double Masters is reprints of original sets. Oof. I'd have to think about that, Prono. Yeah, I think Fifth Dawn. Fifth Dawn is around when I last played physical Magic. Yeah, real estate sucks. Not fun, Justin. Your whole everything is stupid. Stupid, stupid, stupid. But yeah, I played competitive Magic pretty hardcore for a while. Like I would compete in like, the normal Friday night stuff. I would go to the regional tournaments and like state championships in Columbus and stuff when they had those back in the day. Yeah, Fifth Dawn Mirrored and Blocks. That's the last time I played. My favorite. So I played in third edition. Like that time, that was like when I was in middle school. I had no idea what I was doing. Royal Assassin was like the best card ever. Shivan Dragon was the best card ever. Fireball was like scary as all hell. I unfortunately I didn't play during Power 9, so I don't have any of that stuff. I probably would have sold it or got rid of it a long time ago anyway, and then just been mad about it. So it's probably better that I didn't. So I played then, played for most of my middle school, quit, came back hardcore early college years during Onslaught Block. Onslaught Block was by far and away, and I think Odyssey Block prior to that. That Odyssey Onslaught, and I forget the one that came after that. Might have been Kamigawa. Like that run, fantastic. I loved Onslaught Block. That was Yeah, for sure, Justin. I spent way too much money in Onslaught Block. That's actually how I got in the credit card trouble, was Onslaught Block Magic. What are you looking for at the National? On-card Star Wars autos are a big one for me. That Pedro Pascal was a big one. I knocked that off the list before the National. So, which reminds me, hold on one sec. Please hold. Please hold chat as I refresh the eBay saved eBay watch list. Okay, that ends in about an hour. I need to keep an eye on that. Need to keep an eye on those. Okay. I have not played Diablo Immortal. Is it safe to buy in the Willie Mays 1951 rookie PSA graded card? I am not a vintage guy, so I'm not the right person to ask that question to. I don't know how you guys put in videos every night. Do you get more hours in your days? No, I don't have kids. That's how I'm able to do it, basically. Yeah, I've heard I know a guy that actually I play in a weekly D&D game, and my DM lives in Canada, and he's looking for a new house and was telling us what a pain in the ass it is. Best vintage card that I own? I don't own very many, but the only one that I have is a pretty decent one. That's probably this one right here, the 58 Jim Brown SGC 3. I'm not a big vintage guy, but this is like one of the cleanest SGC 3s I've ever seen. Obviously, it's way off centered, but the corners are just on point. The color is great. Even the back is super clean. Other than centering, this card is spot on. Did anyone fess up who took the Nolan Arenado home run challenge thing? I would agree with this on a broad base without putting a whole lot of thought into it. I don't want to mention anything spoilery, so I'm gonna not comment on the specifics. I mean, I think I've been saying forever when it comes to buying comic books, just buy X-Men keys because they're the only thing that haven't gotten huge movie bumps yet. So, you know. Hall of Fame lock, I don't know because he came to the league so old. It just kind of depends on how they handle his Japanese numbers and how long he can go for. But Otani's pretty freaking special. That's funny. You could pop on, Steve, for a little bit. We could chat for a little bit. Pop on in. I'm not going to go super late. I got to get up a little bit early. I'd like to go no later than 11, but that's still an hour and a half from now. So I'm not saying I'm going to go that long, but you know how we roll over here. We just kind of fire it up, and when we get done running our mouths, we turn it up. I'm going to get this question, and then I'll bring you in, Steve. I see you backstage. What comics are you into these days? Still mostly blue chip keys. I mean, I just did the big spending spree at Charlotte Comic Con. I got the X-Men 4 back there. Lean back so it picks up correctly. Got the X-Men 4 back there. That's first appearance of Scarlet Witch. I know that's one that's on Steve's wish list that I don't think he's gotten yet. So I picked that up. That had been on the top of my want list forever, but that's like an ultimate blue chip. I mean, to me, that's one of probably the second most important X-Men book. You can argue Giant Size X-Men #1. I'll ask Steve. We'll bring him in. We'll see if he's ready. He's adjusting things. Steve, what is going on, buddy?
What's up?
What would you consider? Obviously, X-Men #1 is like the blue chip of blue chip X-Men keys. Would you put X-Men #4 or Giant Size X-Men #1 second, or do you have a wild card pick?
Probably Giant Size.
Interesting. I don't think that's I don't think you're wrong with that statement.
Yeah. I mean #4 is a big key because of Scarlet Witch, but she was really prominent recently. really up until the movies, Scarlet Witch, she was popular. And its second appearance of Magneto and the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants.
See,
But
I
think,
give it some juice because of the second appearance of Magneto.
Yeah.
And the full Brotherhood factor, because that's like the X-Men's number one villain, really, besides Sentinels, probably.
But what really made it popular lately was it was the first appearance of Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, especially Scarlet Witch. But I still think Giant Size probably still takes precedence over that.
I think X-Men Force sells for more, but it's also 20 years older, so there you have to factor that in. Because that 4-5 cost me $2,000, and a 4-5 Giant Size X-Men number one, I think, goes for less than that. Or maybe it's actually about the same. I'm trying to think what I paid for my 7.0. I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's close, though. I think it's close.
For myself, I would preferably rather have the issue number 4 just because I'm a fan of that book. But if you're talking about the whole biggest, comic book spectrum, Giant Size number 1 is
I think you guys are right. It is. Giant Size is number 2, but to me, I think I would put X-Men 4 as a clear-cut number 3.
Yeah,
in terms of importance of X-Men books. Yeah. I don't disagree, Justin. There's 18 first appearances in that book too, and it's got the cool cover. So what's been up, Steve? What the hell have you been up to?
Man, I've been too busy to do anything, man. I haven't been able to really keep up with any content. My work schedule has changed. I'm steadily losing auctions on eBay. I'm winning probably 1 out of every 5. And that's being generous. I'm losing auctions. I'm bidding. I'm trying to spend money and buy even before the National. Lost another auction tonight before I came on. That's kind of why I delayed coming on, because whenever I get on a live stream, I I get sidetracked, even though I tell myself, I got auctions I got to watch. You know how that works. But yeah,
that's what I'm doing tonight. I have this monitor over here is an eBay watch screen because I got some interesting auctions that I'm keeping an eye on. Now, when you say auctions, are they your, I don't want to say nonsense auctions, but are they non-sports stuff, or is it sports stuff, or both?
Oh no, the card that I just lost tonight was a dual baseball auto. Went for a little bit over $800. I think I was in it. I think my high bid was $781. It went for close to $860. But I still kind of wanted to bid, but I was also on the phone. Michael Ham gave me a call and was asking about the National, and I had your live stream. So his telephone, I was on my phone. So I had a telephone call on the phone. I had eBay up on my phone. I had your live stream up on my phone. And by the time I got back to try to bid again, the auction had locked out. So it is what it is. I'll just have to look to spend that money on another card. But this was it just ended, so you would be able to see it. It was a Topps definitive Ken Griffey Jr., Frank Thomas, dual auto, numbered out of 10. It was already graded in a BGS 9 with a 10 auto. I always like to, if it's a dual auto and it's already graded in a 10, because, the more autographs on a card, the harder it is to get that 10 auto grade. And, for me, growing up and collecting baseball cards, Griffey and Frank Thomas right there.
Like the goats
from 1990 to 2000 were like the guys, you know what I mean? So that was just a nice card I wanted to pick up. I lost it, but
Did you see, because I know you're a big Orioles guy, did you see the ones from 22? I think I linked you the one, like the Eddie, there's a Murray Ripken one going around, and then I think there's a Ripken Brooks Robinson.
Yeah, there's a Ripken Brooks, there's a Murray Ripken. I saw a nice one in Chantilly that was actually a triple. It was Brooks, Cal, and Eddie.
Oh.
But my thing was I want Cal and Eddie together, and I want Brooks and Frank together. Because those are players that played together, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
or if you want to say Brooks and Cal, because they kind of like the third base gap, when Cal first came in, technically he was a third baseman, then a shortstop, then a third baseman again. So there's that, generational third basemen for the Orioles. But if I'm going to pair them up, I want Frank and Brooks, and I want Eddie and Cal, because that was like the, those were the players from the different eras that played together. But that would be PC stuff. Eddie Murray isn't much of a big seller. Brooks Robinson has so many autographs out there too. I think he's one of the guys that has more autographs than anything out there. He's signed absolutely everything.
I have his autograph on an All-Star game program from the 1997 All-Star game in Cleveland.
Yeah, I have autographs from all those guys that I've gotten in person. So from a PC standpoint, that's stuff that I got. Like Brooks Robinson actually came to my Little League banquet when I was a kid. So he came and signed at our Little League. Like at the end of the year, every year for Little League, you give away the trophies for first place and all-star games and stuff. We would always try to have a local ball player, and Baltimore being as local to me as anything around, Brooks Robinson came one year. And then one year we had like Larry Boa from the Phillies, so I've met some of those guys personally. So that would be my PC items.
That's cool. Do you know this answer to Josh's question? Does Dan Marino have a passing the torch auto?
He does have one, but I'm not sure who he's on there with. It would have been from Donruss Elite. He might not be on there with another good player. But I'm pretty sure he does have a passing the torch. And the passing the torch, they all have the single autos, and then there's the double autos. He might be on there with somebody like, I don't want to say Ryan Leaf, but he might be on there with somebody that's kind of insignificant. And a lot of times when you're on there, he might have a Peyton Manning. He might have a couple different, but I don't think he has a Manning. I'm pretty sure.
There's a Marino Manning cosigners.
Cosigners, yes. There's a Marino Manning cosigners from his rookie year, and there's also a Marino Manning Donruss pen pals from 2000, I think.
And maybe you're doing a video on this, so if you don't want to give anything away too spicy, maybe you don't even know yet, because I'm still and I don't know. Do you have like one or two major things that are on your radar for the National that you're like, I really want to walk out of there with? I remember like last year you really wanted, I forget what it was, but you were like specifically looking for like vintage baseball of a certain couple guys.
Yeah, last year I was just kind of like, I want my first vintage card, so that was a whole segment I did with Ryan from Breakout Cards, where I was on his channel and he was helping me shop for vintage cards because, he was a lot more knowledgeable than I was. I don't ever tend to have a set plan for any card show, so it doesn't really change for the National. The last show I went to in Chantilly, I actually bought quite a bit. Like I spent over $2,000 on some cards. I got a stack. It wasn't like I bought two cards for $1,000 a piece. I mean, I got a nice little stack of $300 and $400 cards from that show. And none of it was anything I was really specifically targeting. I just go around and I kind of look for stuff that I say, hey, if I don't buy this now, I might not ever see it again. Those are the types of cards I look for. Last year, probably the best card that I got was an Upper Deck Ultimate Collection Tony Hawk autograph that was numbered out of 20. I didn't target that going into the National, and that was like the only one I saw at the National. I picked that up. But, I think at the National, I'll probably get more done at the trade nights and stuff. That's how it worked last year.
I agree.
Unless
there was something I'm specifically looking for cash-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think it's... I don't want to hesitate to straight out say it's not worth bringing a bunch of trade stuff on the show floor, but I think unless you have really liquid shit, it's probably not worth bringing a lot of slabs onto the actual show floor if you really legitimately want to get stuff done.
I carried my case around Thursday and Friday last year, and then Saturday was my last day there. So I was like, and I had gotten a lot done at the trade night. So I was like, you know what? I'm going into the show without my case tomorrow. And that was the best day that I had. Not having to worry about my cards. I was just completely browsing. I went to the Chantilly show without my case, without my Pelican case, and I had a good time. So I'll probably, I'll take my cases to the trade nights and probably do more just searching the floor and maybe even buying stuff off the floor to move at the trade nights, so if the trade nights happen, again, I don't know what to expect. I know that there is the Thursday night one that's planned, but as of right now, I'm not getting into Atlantic City till Friday. So
yeah, you need to fix that one, Steve. There's a 30,000 square foot trade night going on Thursday night that you're gonna miss.
I'm working on that. I'm trying to make something happen, but I'm not sure if I will. I mean, I don't check into my room until Friday, but I do have a place to sleep if I am able to make it there on Thursday. So
I was gonna say, I'm sure
it's just a matter of being able to get out of work or not, and with my work schedule completely changing the way that it has, and
You got to try to get there for the Thursday night trade night.
It's like I really want to be there because I hear Merle World and them talking about a lot of pop culture cards. They want to set up a whole separate section for pop culture and all that. I want to go for that, but like I said, I feel like I can get a lot done at the trade nights. I have a lot of stuff that I think that I can move. You know, I'm ready to move this Zion Select. This will be a year to the day, right? A year to the show. But like you said, I think I agree with what you said about he's going to be one of the hot names. I mean, he's heating up right now.
I can already see me now doing a video the Tuesday, the week after the National, have been like, guys that were hot at the National, Zion, like amongst football guys. And then I'm going to pit Stephen Pitts in chat. He's local to me. He's one of my local friends. He's interested in this too. I'm going to pit you two Stevens against each other for the Moss Rice co-signers.
Well, you know what's funny? That card, not that one, but I just bought one that it's not similar. Okay, it's not the two wide receiver goats, but that same set had Marvin Harrison, Isaac Bruce, and there was a couple of them sitting on eBay listed, I think, at 120 a piece by the same seller. It was two of them, so I shot him an offer, and I ended up buying both of them yesterday. So, you know, the way that I'm looking at that is it's $18 to grade now, right? So.
Well, for low end, because there is a declared value cap on that.
Right, but I mean that as a raw card, I basically just bought them for $100 a piece. I bought both of them for he wanted 120 OBO. I bought them both for $100 a piece, so I got them for 200. That's Isaac Bruce,
something like that. Yeah.
So Isaac Bruce and Marvin Harrison, in my mind, well,
that's not changing value in the next 6 months.
And on the stat sheets, they're top 10 in receiving yards all time, right? Isaac Bruce is like right near top 5, and Marvin Harrison is like 8 or 9. And there's nobody even close behind him to pass him. So two of the, top 10 receiving yards all time. They both have Super Bowls. Marvin Harrison is number 5 all times in receptions. And I think Isaac Bruce is like 12. So $100 for a dual on-card auto of those guys together. And plus there are people I got to watch play. I think a card like that for $100 and you have an $18 grading fee. I think just putting a slab on that card makes you profit. I feel like if I can buy that for $100, get it graded for say 20, so I'm into $120. A PSA 9, I think automatically is like a $200 card, right? So yeah, I'm looking at cards like that.
No comps on that either for them to upcharge,
right? And somebody will pay the premium on it just to save themselves the trouble of getting it graded themselves.
Yeah,
so it's kind of like doing the dirty work and then making a little bit of money off of it.
That's like when I got this in the PSA 8, like I think that's perfectly fine. Like to have this, I think the PSA 8 removes the question marks, like over having something like this raw. Like there's one raw on the last sell. This was a raw one for like 1,400, but the Moss auto was smudged. Like the R and Moss had a big smudge on it. So it's like, the last BGS 9.5 of that did like 5,500.
Right. Well, I see Cards and Comics says PSA charges you for what they are worth slabbed, not raw card value. I understand that.
Yeah,
I grade a lot.
No
I grade a lot. I know how it works, but there's no market value on it. They can't really price it out.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I really want. I have a particular high-end Star Wars auto that I'm looking for outside the Pedro Pascal. The Pedro Pascal, like I said earlier, was not going to be number 1 on my list of things for the National, and one just happened to pop up on a Facebook group, and those do not come to market very often. So when they do, you pounce. So the other one I could be a little bit more choosy on because they have more options, but they still don't pop up a ton. I passed on one this week because it wasn't the image that I wanted, and I'm kind of kicking myself.
There's a card I'm kicking myself in the ass for not bidding higher on, and even if I would have bid it higher, I'm not saying I lost it because I didn't bid it up. You know what I mean? I'm not saying, I got beat at the end. But I have bid close to $1,800 on a card, and it went for like 18 and change, like 1810. I really wish I would have bid 2,000. I honestly, if I saw the card at a card show, I would have paid $2,000 for it. I don't know why I felt the need to be cheap, and who knows? I probably would have bid 2,000, and somebody would have outbid me anyway. And it's not even a sports card, so it's a lot of cards. People will be like, "You're ridiculous wanting to pay that much for a card." But it was a Goodwin's Champions card of Stephen King, the author, and it was already in a BGS 9. Yeah, it was a BGS 9.5 with auto 10. I looked up the pack odds on it. It was like 1 in like 4,700 packs. So it's super tough. They never come to auction. I've seen one at a buy it now a long time ago, and it's even gone. And the buy it now on it was $3K. So one finally came, and that was raw. One finally came to auction, graded in a 9.5 auto 10. You could probably look up the sold sales history and find it. And I really wish I would have just at least attempted 2,000. And then if I would have lost it at 2,000, I'd have been like, hey, I went as high as I was willing to go. And yeah, still kicking myself in the ass.
Yeah,
I'll probably never see again. It was
I've
so
been kicking myself for a couple. I don't know. It might pop up at the National. You never know.
Did I get a My Slabs offer? My phone just went off. I've been selling stuff on My Slabs for a while, but
I like the text messaging stuff. How they text you for My Slab stuff.
I did. I just got a card that's been sitting on My Slabs for probably 6 months with no offers, and now somebody just made me an offer.
Oh, look at you!
So, yeah, it's a wrestling card. Go figure. But
someone must be pumping. Who's pumping wrestling right now?
Yeah, right. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Maybe I'll go ahead and sell that. I have a bunch of like $50 to $200 slabs, and I need to consign out. I kind of wanted to take them to the National and maybe just sell them to some. I have a good soccer PSA submission that came back that was 9 cards. It was a really strong return. I got really good grades, but I just wanted to find somebody that does what in soccer on Whatnot or whatever, and be like, hey, do you want to buy these for your soccer inventory? Because it's a bunch of $100 and $150 slabs.
I think that's like you just bring that to trade night and just put the pile.
Yeah, that's kind of like what I want to do. Or, I know somebody that might want to buy it and be like, hey, I know you do soccer on Whatnot. Buy this stack off me.
Yeah, like Sunday League and stuff, don't you? Don't they do big?
Well, Sunday League is the one who did the grading submission for me. I asked him if he was interested, and I don't know if he was backed up on inventory or not. He was just kind of like, he was like, let me think about it and I'll get back to you. And then I was just like, nah, just go ahead and send them to me. Because I was either like, you either want them or you can send them to me, because I don't want to sit on, when somebody says, and you never know, I'm not saying this is what is happening, but if someone says, hey, let me get back to you in a couple days, and I'll let you know if I want to buy them, they may potentially be going and seeing if they can sell them individually. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They may be actually trying to sell them before they purchase them off me. So I was just like, either, if you want them, you can buy them now. If you don't want them, that's cool too. I understand. Just ship them to me. So he just shipped them to me.
I don't think we know where the Friday trade night is. I mean, Steve and I have talked about this on live streams, and he's talked about it on like his live drives. This isn't Chicago. Like, we don't know what the hotel trade night situation is going to be. I'm sure some hotels will let it fly and not care. I'm sure some hotels might have space off to the side that you could kind of like hide in or whatever. But I don't think it's going to be like Chicago where people just take over the library. It's to Steve's point that he's made a bunch. These are casinos. Now, Thursday's trade night is at the actual convention center. Ryan and Jimmy have teamed up with the National to put it at the National in a 30,000 square foot ballroom. But where Friday and Saturday night trade nights at are going to be, I don't know. So it's probably just going to be one of those things where you need to just kind of like be active on social and see where people are posting. And speaking of being active on social, bought and sold by SGC and CSG. Dustin, the personal finance head.
How's it going?
What's up, buddy?
How are you?
Hey, this live stream, this was supposed to take place on Monday. Next Monday.
We might roll this back next Monday. Who knows?
We're a week early.
Doing something pre-scheduled, but
just do like 12 days to Christmas or whatever. We do it every night.
When do you get in town next week?
So the plan is to get up at like 5 a.m. Friday morning, drive there, and I think I'm about 8 hours out. So maybe like 1 p.m.
You're gonna be beat.
So you're missing trade night too on Thursday night.
Yeah, I'm missing everything on Thursday. Yep.
Jeez.
Yeah. I missed this whole live stream, so I don't know. You guys have to catch me up.
Well, I saw a comment from
you can interview us like we're guests on your channel.
I saw a comment from Gibbs Seatown. He says any of the big movie director autos are always big collectibles. So that's why I went to run this, because I grabbed this yesterday. You guys, if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen it. but that was the Quentin Tarantino,
Yeah, that was cool. I saw that
Don
one.
Russ private signings. It's numbered out of 93, but I feel like I never see it. Like 93 doesn't seem
A weird ass number.
super short print. Yeah, they're all numbered to weird numbers. Because I got the Bernie Mac from the same one.
I love Bernie Mac.
And the Bernie Mac's numbered out of
The
85,
comic
so it's actually
special
more
is
rare.
fantastic. Shout out to Cards and Comics for the 2-year anniversary on YouTube tomorrow, buddy.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
That's a big one.
I don't even
I
know
think
when
my-
my anniversary is.
My 2-year was in May. When was your 2-year, Dustin? It was fairly recently too, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
March 22nd.
Oh, it's a day after my birthday.
I planned it like that.
I know. We didn't even know each other, and you planned it like that at the time.
So
So
you're
yeah,
getting
you're
in,
not until Friday. What the hell, man?
yeah. So are you getting in like Wednesday or Thursday? What do you?
So I'm leaving. Wife and I are leaving Wednesday after work, driving to Philly, which is about 6 to 7 hours. Staying in Philly, and then I'll have the hour drive in Thursday morning. So
That'll be nice.
we'll go straight in. She'll drop me off Thursday morning, so I should be able to hit the show pretty quickly after it happens on Thursday. And then she'll go check into the hotel or whatever, and then I'll be there all day Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday. And then Sunday, we are leaving open. I could go to the show on Sunday if I want / need to. Last year, I didn't because I ran out of cash. Someone ripped me off for a Baker Mayfield flawless RPA. I didn't have any money left after Saturday.
Yeah. Steve, it's funny. All the cards I'm bringing to trade night are ones I got off Steve previously. So I don't know. If he just like got a time, like he's got a time machine. He's always ahead of this stuff.
So here's the funny thing.
We even have a little designated area in this box right here of stuff that you put up here that you want from me. I don't know if you still want it, but remember when we were going to trade at your house and you were like, oh, just bring them to the National, and we put them up here.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm doing there. If I kind of want to get a substantial card, like a $1,500, $2,000 card. So I'm trying to figure out, do I want to, kind of just ease off of that and just kind of hold out and make sure I get kind of one card that I'm really looking for, as opposed to doing like what I usually do. I don't know.
Would you just stare at people and hope that they lower their price?
Yeah.
Hey, I got a question. You bought in Raleigh, you bought that Mark McGuire auto. Do you remember what you paid for that?
Yeah, I paid $115.
Okay.
One, the Diamond Icons.
McGuire autos are pretty cheap.
Yeah, they are.
They're
I
not,
just picked up.
I've looked at a lot of his Dynasty stuff. Like I have the Clemens Dynasty. You could get McGuire Dynasty like this for like $175 with like a sick 3-color ace patch, for 200-ish, give or take. I've seen McGuire stuff go for.
I was just curious.
That and Ricky Henderson.
I picked up a Topps Luminaries seal. This is numbered out of 5.
I love the Dynasty.
And I got it for $90, but I got it from my brother. So I just didn't know if I had gotten a good deal or not.
Yeah. No, I'd like the picture on this one. The picture was really kind of it for me. And then the auto was, was good auto, but I like the pick.
So are you looking for Breeze stuff? Or I saw earlier that I saw your thing when you had Coleman on that you might be looking for Lucas Silver.
I've got a few cards. Yeah. I mean, Lucas Silver is kind of tough. None of the stuff I'm looking for is mega rare. I mean, the Breeze card is numbered out of 999. I'd probably be looking at like a PSA 9, I would guess, on that one. There's a few cards that are in $1,500 range. Another one actually would be Ricky Henderson rookie. Not this, obviously, but just Ricky Henderson. His rookie in a 9 is also about $1,400 or $1,500, and an 8 there's like
Bird Magic.
Yeah, I mean, Bird Magic. There's a few things. I mean, I don't know. So last year I had a lot of fun and I got kind of a variety. I would like to, and that's kind of my deal. I kind of I would say I live in the $100 to $500 range for the most part. And I would like to, come back with something just because there's so much there. Yeah, I'd like to try to get something that's fairly substantial. I usually don't do that.
I feel way less focused this year than I did last year. Like last year I had no, these are the cards that I am looking for. And I mean, there's still a week to go. I don't feel like that right now outside of like a couple. I'm kind of like you. There's like 2 cards that are on my radar that are like in the $2,000-ish price range. And I would like to come home with one of them.
Sam Moulter. I got the helmet actually at the Raleigh show. And it's got Camara on there as well. It's Breeze and Camara.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I
You
just
probably
like to
get
go.
some old. I bet you what is Breeze memorabilia? I can't imagine that's like super pricey. Like what's
It's
a Breeze
not.
signed
Well,
jersey go for?
So that helmet, and it's a full size speed helmet. I like the colors on it and stuff. I mean, it was like the retail on it was like 850, 800, and the guy at the show sold it to me for 400, 450 or something like that. So but it was kind of like last day of the show. I think it was like, I don't know if I want to look this back,
Yeah, I
and
don't blame him. I wouldn't want to carry that big ass thing home.
and there's just not a lot. I mean, yeah, there's Breeze collectors, but now that he's retired, he's not adding to his legacy. He just got fired from his broadcasting job or whatever. I mean, like, I feel like now's the time for, that's why I've been looking into it more, because I'm like, this is probably a decent time to find it at a good price.
Are you flying solo this year, or is your wife coming with you again?
No, I'm just going to be solo.
Solo.
Yeah. I'm in and out this year, so yeah.
You're there Friday, so Friday afternoon, all day Saturday, and then drive home Sunday, or are you leaving Saturday?
No, yeah, all day Saturday. Saturday will be the marathon day.
And so you're staying Saturday night, though.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that's my plan too. I don't think I'm driving home Sunday though. I took Monday off work as a recovery day. Last year I was a train wreck on Monday after the national. trying to function as a human.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting because last year was, I think for all three of us, was our first national. And I feel like it was like post-pandemic, all the excitement around it. It was jam-packed. It was like Anaheim 92 national, and then this year, what's it going to look like? I mean, I don't think it's going to be slow, but I don't think it's going to be like last year.
So I talked about it earlier. Like they sold out of like the 5-day passes and stuff like they did last year, like last week. So it's like that level is the same. I think Thursday and Friday are going to be slower than last year. I think Saturday is going to be super busy because you got to remember you're within easy driving distance of New York City, DC, Baltimore, Philly, Boston. Like you have a lot of major metropolitan areas that can get to Atlantic City in like under 3 hours.
Yeah, I agree. There's probably a lot of East Coasters in that area that would not travel to Chicago, but will go to
but could drive in for just Friday night, stay Saturday, and then leave Saturday evening and still be home at a reasonable hour Saturday night. So I bet you Saturday is going to be slammed.
Yeah,
that's my thought, is that Thursday and Friday are probably a lot slower than last year's, but I think Saturday might be like insane just because of the weekend travel. Steve, do you have any thoughts or predictions on that as someone that kind of lives in that neck of the woods? Do you kind of see it playing out that way, or compared to last year's?
I think well, I didn't stay for Sunday last year, but I'm going to say that Sunday this year is going to be slower. I think people are going to have to get out earlier unless they plan on staying all the way till Monday. Like last year, if you were in Chicago, you could be like, I'm going to get a flight out of Chicago at a later time. I'm going to push my hours at the show until like 3, and then I'm going to get out here. I think most people are probably going to be trying to get out earlier. And then I don't think there's going to be a lot of cross traffic. Atlantic City is going to be busy. It's going to be busy with tourists and stuff. I don't think that a lot of the tourism is going to flood into the show. I do think there will be easily more people from the East Coast. But with that being said, there might be less people from the West Coast. Like, for instance, Charles is coming to the National, right? But would Charles have been coming to the National if he didn't win my giveaway? So it's kind of like people coming from out there may not be coming. So I look for the influx of people from the East Coast to just balance out the, people from the West Coast that aren't going to be able to make it. And even myself, somebody who came into Chicago last year on Thursday, I'm not planning on coming until Friday this year. So, and I'm within driving distance. So people may be spending less days there. I don't even have like you said, the 5-day pass is sold out. I don't even have passes to get in yet.
I don't either.
So I might be standing at the door, not even I might be waving at you guys inside the National. I mean, I got this. This is for Charles, who won my giveaway. So I had bought him a VIP pass for 5 days or for the length of the show prior to the giveaway. Or I had brought it for whoever was going to win, but I got to get myself passes. So I don't think the crowd will be more. If anything, I think it'll be slightly less. As far as Saturday night goes, I think there's going to be a lot longer nights for dealers and people. So like I said, I don't think the tourism is going to cross into the show. However, I do believe that the people at the show are going to cross in into the Atlantic City tourism. So I think you're going to see people going to more clubs, going into gambling, going to the boardwalk, and doing things at night as opposed to piling into hotel lobbies. I honestly think there'll be more people going out and getting wasted and partying and stuff at this one than there was last year.
Is there a set trade night on Friday, Saturday that you guys are aware of?
Not that we know of.
Okay. I mean, I know they'll be there. Just where.
It's a matter of where. And like I said, that's the, I mean, we talked about this earlier. That's the weird part of this year's national is that everyone's so spread out. It's not like Chicago where you could kind of like, you know, someone with a following pops on IG Live and is like, hey guys, we're pop-up trade night at X Hotel. And pretty much in Chicago, regardless of where you're at, that's at max a 15-minute walk. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. AC is either not like that or you don't want to make the 15-minute walk.
I see a comment by Inglorious where he says it will be like Dallas was last week, just average national with very specific cards being sold. I'm going to slightly disagree because I've been to Dallas shows, and Dallas shows, there's not a huge variety of cards there ever. Usually the Dallas shows that I've been to have just reminded me of everybody's got their best stuff out, and it's more of a who's got the best cards in the room type deal. Where if you go to the National, you're going to find everything. You're going to find low end, high end, different sports, non-sports, stuff you haven't seen anywhere else. As Dallas tends to be very high end focused and very NBA driven from what I've seen in the past. It does have a good variety. It is a great show. But with that being said, there's not as much diversity and price range at a Dallas show as there is at a National.
I kind of wonder too if it's the same dealers, because I know the National's got, there's a wait list, to be a dealer there. But I wonder if just geographically, if there's other dealers that are involved in that show or whatever, that get preferential treatment that are in New York or whatever. I don't know, massive dealers that maybe can't go to Chicago or whatever that go. I've heard, I remember at the National last year, there was guys that their dealers that were like, I only sell cards once a year at the National. That's it. Like, I don't sell on eBay. I don't sell anywhere else. I sell at this show and that's it. So, I mean, that's kind of interesting because you really don't know, what they're going to have. I mean, and that's another thing I think that'll be cool too, is just to see what is it. I know there's going to be some of everything there, but I felt like last year was the most vintage I'd ever seen in my whole life was in that one place. And that'll be kind of cool to see if it's that way again, or if there's going to be more non-sport, or is there going to be, because non-sports has really kind of come on over the last 6 to 9, 12 months.
Mm-hmm. And last year there were some great non-sports tables. They just weren't as popular. I remember walking and really going over a few tables that were non-sports cards. There was a lot of the old Guinea Ogden cigarettes cards from the 1900s. There was some of the 1931 Wills Disney cards. I mean, and when I talk about non-sports, I'm not talking about a lot of the ultra modern Topps Chrome, Galaxy and things like that. I'm talking about the old non-sports stuff, a lot of stuff issued overseas in Holland and stuff like that, the old Disney stuff, the old stuff. There was tables with that last year, and I wasn't into that stuff as much as I am this year. Last year, I was mainly in just music. Now I'm into a little bit more of all of it, still led by the music, but I hope that there's more of that stuff there this year because I want to buy it for my collection. And I don't typically find that stuff at other shows. Like, very rarely do I go to a regional show and find a good variety of that stuff.
What do you think is a good idea of stuff to bring for trade night? Because I've got a variety of things I was thinking about bringing, and it's like Football? I mean, is football the thing? But is everybody going to bring their football because it's all football season?
I think football will be liquid, so you'll want to have some, but I also think you want unique stuff too. I mean, the running joke at last year's national was for Steve to put his soccer stuff out because a lot of people didn't have soccer at trade nights. So when he would put his Pulisics out, everyone would stop by our table all of a sudden every time he would bust them out. That was like the running theme for like 4 straight nights was, no, Steve, put the Pulisics back out. Why did you put them away? And I think to Steve's point, I think non-sports is going to be more of a thing this year than last year. Like if anything, this year has been non-sports, pick whatever category that you want, music, Marvel, movies, Stranger Things, everything has become very forefront. Star Wars. So I think to have some of that stuff in your arsenal is going to be important too. Whatever it is, like pick whatever one that you like that you got laying around.
You know, you hear the cliche so much of buy and collect what you like, right? That doesn't necessarily mean it has to apply to sports. Buy the sports that you like. Buy the sports players that you like. If you like cards and they make cards of your favorite rock and roll band or your favorite movie, and that's what you like, you know, I would rather go listen to Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon than go sit through 9 innings of Baltimore Orioles baseball. Right? Or I would rather sit at a Pearl Jam concert than sit through an Orioles game or even a Dolphins game, to be honest. So to me, that's why it appeals to me so much stronger. But, you know, the sports cards is what a majority prefer. So if I want to have income, it's going to come off my sports cards. If I want to collect, it's going to be
what about, because last year I felt like a lot of the stuff I brought, and I mean, I didn't bring a lot of stuff, but I felt like you show up at trade night and there's just, and also just all the different dealer tables or whatever. It was like everybody's best stuff. Do you think this year it'll be more of like you could bring like $50 cards? Like I saw 86 Fleer, in here. If you had 86 Fleer, graded 86 Fleer stuff, but maybe it's an 8 or something that's $50, or $75. Like I've got Akeem Olajuwon sticker rookies. I mean,
trade nights, that stuff will always be liquid. I think there's always going to be people looking for that stuff. You know what I mean? Trade nights is literally everything. You're going to have kids walking around or adults walking around with, $50 to $100 slabs. And you're going to have people that are right next to them with $100,000 slabs. I mean, especially in a national trade night, like it's just the nature of the beast. There's going to be stuff that, a wide gambit. But for trade night, I think I would bring it. I guess my key would be bring a diverse inventory. You know what I mean? I think you want like some football stuff. You probably want, like baseball wise, it's probably going to be Ohtani and probably Julio Rodriguez now after the home run derby. And he's just generally been a hot name. It'll probably be 2 hot names at the national.
Yeah.
Basketball, Steve and I both talked about it earlier. I have a feeling Zion's probably going to be sneaky popular. Probably not even that sneaky. Like I think Zion's going to be a hot name at the national. That's just a guess. You make all the jokes that you want, but I think he'll probably be a player that a name that you hear floated around a lot on the basketball side of things. And football is always going to be hot at the national just because of the time of year that it is. So I don't think you can go wrong with Tua, Burrow, Herbert, Allen, pick whatever. Basically any quarterback probably will have some sort of value.
Yeah, well, football will be popular because that's what everybody talks about on the vlogs and stuff. And, the vlogs tend to generate a lot of popularity. But when you're sitting in a trade night, like Neo says, you never know what's going to walk up and you never know what somebody's going to want. Last year, one of my biggest trades was I traded away some Star Wars Wonder Bread cards. I traded away a Jack Nicklaus 81 Don Russ golf card. And I got like a flawless Larry Bird autograph in the deal for some of that stuff that was already graded. So different genres trade, I was trading golf for basketball. I was trading Star Wars for football last year. It was like anybody will trade for anything. Is, no case. I'm not going to say no case, but when I walk into a trade night, and the last big one I walked into was Philly. Chantilly wasn't that big. Even Atlanta, I didn't do much in trade nights. But I have a very diverse case, and I kind of almost got to keep it organized so people don't waste their time. And when people start going through my case, I tell them, look, this is modern, this is vintage, this isn't even sports. This is like music and stuff. So if you don't want to waste your time on that, don't look at it. But you know what? They always go through it anyway. And that is the row in my case that gets the most inquiries. Now, they may not like some of the prices that I give them because they don't necessarily know what to value something at, but people ask a lot. They ask a lot. How much is that Jimi Hendrix sticker? I ain't never seen anything like that. Jimi Hendrix is awesome. But, I might give them a price and I might be like, oh, it's awesome, but I'm not willing to pay that much. But it gets a lot of interest. So with that being said, man, I take everything to trade night because I never know what somebody's going to want.
Yeah, Thursday I'm bringing I talked about this right at the very beginning of the live stream. I don't want to carry this case around all week, and it's not even that big. I don't have like 8 suitcases like Steve does, but this fits inside my backpack. I'm bringing this on the show floor Thursday because CC2's trade night's immediately following, and I don't know that I'm going to have time to get back to the hotel. But Friday and Saturday, I'm probably just going to cherry pick a handful of cards out of here to carry with me, and whatever happens, happens. You know what I mean? Because a lot of stuff that I carry in here is stuff I don't even really necessarily want to trade. So half of this is stuff I don't want to trade. Half of it, I just bring it just in case. Like if someone has a better version of that card that I could use the lower version of it to upgrade, is basically why I have it in there. But I don't know that I want to carry this around all week. I just want to pick out like a dozen cards, shove them in my backpack in a small box, and be done with it. I definitely want to travel lighter this year.
Yeah, I'm a pure 80s style. I'm wearing a fanny pack. That's my card show attire.
I like the backpack because I like to carry one. I like to have at least 2 bottles of wine.
You're about to say 2 bottles of wine on
there. And I like having the I have one of those I forget what they're called, the charging packs.
Yeah,
so charge your phone on.
You probably do the same thing.
If you're on a
pocket
just the setup of this national Chicago, it was super easy to run back to the room if you needed something, or just like, hey, I need like a 30-minute timeout. I'm gonna go chill in the room and just kind of zone out for a minute. I don't know how viable that is here. You know what I mean?
That makes sense. Yeah.
So I feel like I want more space in the bag for like supplies, as stupid as that sounds, as opposed to cards, because I don't know how accessible it's going to be for me to run back to the hotel on a whim like Chicago. Like Chicago, I would, if I wanted something cold to drink, I just walked back to the room and sat down for half an hour and relaxed. Like that's not going to be the case this time around. Or if it is, it's going to be way more of a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I'm bringing more cards with me this time. With that being said, less cards are going to the showroom floor with me. I'm mainly bringing more cards for trade night. So I'll have more cards and cases to sit at the trade night tables with. But as far as carrying Zion cases around the showroom floor, I doubt I'm going to do that much. Maybe one day with this small 2-row case, but this 4-row and then this 3-row here that's off camera that you can't see, I'm not carrying a 4-row case around with me.
No, that if you were going to do that, that's what you bring the card collector to trade night on Thursday night, and then just leave it in the room the rest of the week. You know what I mean? Something like that. I think it makes sense to bring as much stuff as you possibly can to, but even then, it's like hard to keep track of all that stuff. Your case starts getting passed around a table, and next thing you know, you don't even know where the hell it is.
Yeah.
You bringing that Rice Moss auto?
Yeah, you're the third person to ask me about that on this live stream.
Yeah, it's a cool card.
Yeah, that could be.
I'll probably have too many drinks and try to trade for that.
Yeah, as long as it starts with 1s and ends in 0s. I am bringing that. If I don't, so this, I would definitely trade this, but it would have to be for something like of similar significance. My thought process is to potentially use this to trade for a LeBron auto, as like a chip in a LeBron auto deal.
Did you say 1 and 0?
What's that?
Did you say 10 Gs? 1 and 0?
No. I said 1s and 0s. No, I think this is probably between. So the last BGS 9.5, this is a PSA 8. BGS 9.5 did 5.5K and a PSA 10 did 6.5K fairly recently-ish. A Raw sold for 1,500, but the Moss auto was smudged pretty badly. So I'm probably between like 2,500 and 3K on this, give or take. Given those recent comps, I think that's at least a fair ask.
It's a cool card. There will be somebody that wants it. I guess it'll just...
It draws a ton of attention. It's one of those cards. Like this is a card like we were talking earlier about. If you're setting up at a table at trade night, you want to lay a couple things out that grab people's attention. This is like a cards like this is what you set out because it's not something people see on a regular basis.
Yeah, agree.
The 2 key cards that I'm watching on auction end very quickly.
No. I had one end while we were live streaming, but I already had my max bid in, so I don't know if I won it or not. If I lost it, I'll be 0 for 2 tonight.
I won one earlier tonight that I wanted.
I've been buying star cards.
I saw
Yeah, I
that.
saw your Dominique.
I also picked up a couple Larry Birds, Steve. I was gonna share. I don't think I shared that with you, but I was looking at starbasketballcards.com. They've got some good info as far as like estimated print runs and stuff like that. It's kind of interesting.
So how do you? Because I'm not big on those. That's not really my shtick. But like, are you buying raw or already BGS graded ones?
Just only BGS.
Okay, I was gonna say because the fakes on those are like extreme, aren't they?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, and I'm also even a little nervous with the graded copies because there are some great fakes from what I understand. But
I mean, obviously that's why a lot of companies didn't even want to touch them for that reason.
yeah, no, I'm just doing BGS. And I'm also like that Dominique. That's the most expensive one I bought. And it was funny. It's like it's a 9.5, which is a pretty high grade for those. And I think it was $350, $375. There's two other ones that are listed, like 995. They're like $2,000. And then there was that one that was like 400 or best offer. And I'm like, all right, well, let's make a deal. And it's a quad. It's a quad 9.5.
Interesting.
So yeah, it was cool. And also the pictures on the star cards are awesome. I mean, that's the one thing. There's not a lot of 80s basketball, really. There's not a lot of sets. So like but the pictures are just incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Turner got he did too. I wonder how many of those, someone that was in the know that knew and had a lot of that stuff ready to rock and roll for that. Have prices shot up on that stuff? I haven't followed.
So the guy
charts and graphs on those.
I bought a few that it looks like but there's just not a lot of them. To be honest, like on eBay, there's not loads of graded copies. There's not lots of it. Depends on which set you're looking at. The guy that I'm staying with actually is a pretty high-end buyer, and he actually did have star Jordans. Like he went in on those a while ago, and so he's basically he's making out now.
I already graded, like BGS slabbed already, or
yeah. So he had BGS slab Jordan 101s and other Jordan stuff.
It's crazy how people are just gobbling those up. They just crack them and send them to PSA.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like the crossing's going that well. I don't think that he was interested in crossing them necessarily, but just holding on to him, and then the PSA announcer going to grade him, and all of a sudden he's like, all right, well, I guess I'll sell or whatever, I mean.
So are people trying to cross putting like min grades on it, or are they just sending them in blindly and say cross this regardless of what you would grade it?
He actually texted me earlier, and it wasn't a Jordan. It was another, I can't remember which player it was, but he had a BGS 9.5 he cracked, and he's trying to get a 10 because I don't think that PSA has given out a 10 yet on any of the star cards. So I think if you get a 10, it's going to be a huge deal, regardless.
Yeah, it's like a golden card if you get a 10 on that.
If it's Jordan, then of course, but I mean, even like the Dominique or even, whatever, Stockton or whoever the hell,
Yeah.
So that'll be, I guess that's kind of fun for guys and gals to try to do.
I see a comment down here real quick from Jordan. He said he had no intentions of going until he got a submission return with a pull holes each or a 10, which I saw that card on Instagram. That card is awesome. I'm just curious, Jordan, does that mean that you're attending the National now? If so, please hit me up while you're there because I want to meet you.
Because you want one of the cards, because you just want to shake Jordan's hand.
Yeah, well, I get people that say that to me all the time, but I have viewers that have been around since day one, and I actually want to meet them. You know what I mean? It's not like I don't know. I've chatted with Jordan on Instagram and stuff like that, and he's been following my channel for ever. So it's I think it's cool when I get to meet people that have watched the channel, especially for a really long time. It's probably cooler to me than it is to them. So that's why I wanted to point that comment out if he's going to be there.
Yeah, I had some really fun interactions with people at my local show that I don't normally run into, and at Card Collector 2 Trade Mate that I met for the first time in person. Those are always fun. But I didn't realize that you knew. I was like, wait, do you just really want one of his cards, or?
No. I've never got a chance to like.
He's joined it for an Ichiro PSA.
Yeah,
10,
I run into a lot of people at shows and stuff that watch my content, and I appreciate it. To me, meeting them is like I don't know why they even want to meet me. I'm just an average dude, but there's some people that I just would think
we
would
all
be-
want to hang out with Steve.
Yeah,
It'd be
what's up?
cool.
Yeah.
No Deshaun Watson pickups for me. Absolutely not. Not a Deshaun Watson guy.
No Deshaun Watson. But you're a Cleveland Browns guy, man.
That doesn't matter.
So then, who's your Cleveland Brown buy? Who's your Cleveland Brown recognition or recommendation?
Myles Garrett.
So, have you been speculating on any NBA stuff? I've only been speculating on one player, and I've been picking up his stuff like pretty cheap since last year. You know who it is, probably.
I know exactly who it is because I kind of like that pulsar that you got the other day.
Oh yeah, dude. Okay, so I haven't done a video on this because I don't want to do a video saying, "Hey, this is the one NBA player that I've kind of gambled on a little bit," but I have picked up when I find really good deals. Like I like to grab.
What's that numbered out of?
13. It's number 1 too. Number 1 out of 13. But
Yeah,
this has been on my slabs watch list for like a year, and it started at $750, right? And it's come down and it's come down and it's come down to where it finally got lowered to like $375, and I made an offer of $325, and the guy accepted it. So I was like,
how much did you say you got it for?
$325. Yeah, so you can write that down and try to get a deal off me.
Make a mental note of that, so I know
But
you're trying to rip me off.
I just thought it was a good gamble. It might not be a good price. It might not. I just think it was a good gamble because the orange pulsars are pretty desirable because they're from the first off the line.
Who is it? Is it Garland or Sexton?
It's Sexton.
Oh, okay.
So, banking on a trade or him just coming back and doing something,
Yeah, I think the hate, and listen, I was always Garland over Sexton guy, like forever. But the hate's gone too far on Sexton, and the Cavs legitimately need him back, in my opinion.
I had that card sitting on my slabs tracking for
I think
so
so.
long.
I haven't looked at a ton of NBA because I've been going hard on this Bowman prospect stuff, specifically for this PSA grading submission.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But I think there's a lot of good scrap heap buys. Like, I think Sexton's a really good one. I think, and I haven't dug it. You know what? I did. I got that one the other day. Where the hell did it go? Right here.
Yeah, there's some good. I don't want to say prospecting because they're guys who have shown that
the
they can
Obi
play.
Toppin one, the contenders. Like, I got this for $60. Like,
yeah, I would say
there's downside risk on this for 60, but if he gets traded to the Jazz and all of a sudden he's their
not too
starting
risky.
3,
it's not too.
He's dropping $50 or 50, like 20, 30 points a game. I don't know. This could go to $120. Like, I could double my money on this pretty easily.
Yeah,
I could lose on it too, but a $60 buy-in, your downside risk isn't that high.
There's definitely price point plays to be made out there, and I like to say price point plays because sometimes it doesn't necessarily matter who the player is. It can't be somebody that's not playing, but I mean somebody that's going to play, that's young, that has some potential. There's some really good price point grabs out there. And Colin Sexton, like, to me, is a guy who has proven that he can play and score in the league. So it's like, it's just a matter of what is he going to do this year? Is he going to be healthy? And, Cleveland's a good market and a good young team. So, and if he gets traded, even better. So it's like he just has a couple of good things going for him. For the price point that you can get in on him at, there's still lots of guys I don't like strictly because of price point. Doesn't mean I don't think they're great players. There's just too many price point restrictions.
Yeah, and I think you're way better off trying crap like this and Sexton than you are. Like, this is it's kind of gone for full circle again. Like, in the past, you would make a lot of undervalued plays on lower end stuff like this. And then it kind of switched to like, well, no, I'll just buy like a Luka Silver 9 and then it'll just automatically go up 25% because everything does. And I'll just be able to flip that for a profit. That game's a lot harder now with a lot of risk. Whereas crap like this has risk, but your financial risk is a lot less. Like a $60 risk to make maybe 150, you could churn and burn stuff like this.
Yeah, we always said it's the percentages, and that's how I started out when I first started flipping cards. I was flipping low end. I wasn't flipping Prism. I was flipping like hoops. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Revolution.
Yeah, and it was like, the big money gains weren't there, but the percentage gains were bigger. Like it's easier for a $50 card to double in value than it is for a $500 card to double in value. So if you play the percentage game and you know, it's more of a grind. But if you play the percentage game on low risk price points and you say, hey, I buy this for 50, if I can get out of it for 80, I'm making some money. I'm almost doubling up. But if you buy a $500 card, that card's got to have a lot going for it in order for you to get 800 for it. You know what I mean? To get the same percentage return that you would on a $50 card with a much higher risk.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And I think grading's a play again. That wasn't the case for a long time.
Oh yeah, like I said earlier, with
the bread and butter. Hey, I could submit cards to get graded and sell them for a profit.
And a lot of the cards that you're submitting to get graded, you're strictly could be just making money off being the guy getting it graded, doing the dirty work like it was. Like I bought those. Like I said, I bought 2 of those Isaac Bruce, Marvin Harrison co-signers for $100 a piece, and I can get them graded for $20. If I can resell it for, you know, 200 or 225, then I'm doing well. And I feel like somebody would rather buy it graded for 200 to 225 if it's a decent grade than they would raw for 100 and go through the process of getting it all done themselves. So I do feel like there's a lot more dirty work, profit margins to be made out there now with grading coming back down to earth in prices, and with really nice cards coming down in price as well.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. That's all coming back. I mean, we've really had a year of no grading outside of SGC, really providing quick turnaround time. And I know I'm biased saying so, but it's just.
I was going to say, do little dollar signs like fly off here? like Mario coins pop up every time you say SGC.
But I've been saying that for months, though. You know, I mean, like it's just the truth. I mean, SGC's been the only company with a turnaround time over the last 12 months. Say what you will about resale and all that, fine. But I mean, you know, it is what it is. But now you're right. I mean, PSA, you know, CSG, all of it's going to start getting caught up. Beckett, you know, so
yeah. So like I just did, you know, I'll do the video. It'll probably post later in the week. I sent that Griffey auto off to CSG July 9th, I think it was. They got it, and I'll have it tomorrow back to me. The FedEx is scheduled to deliver it tomorrow. So that's 7-day turnaround on a standard order for CSG. At I forget what that cost me. Was that like $30 a card? I don't remember. I'd have to look at the sheet. Now, say what you will about CSG secondary market prices compared to like even SGC.
Yeah, how come you that? Why did you pick CSG over other options?
Because to me, that's I already have that card, so it's the exact same one that I already have. Where's it at? It's sitting back here somewhere. Where it ran off to. So it's numbered out of 10, and I have one of the other ones out of 10, and it makes me. I wanted to hold on to one of those cards, so now it makes the PSA. Here it is. It makes the PSA available for me to move at the National next week because I don't want both of them per se. And as a PC card, I prefer the CSG slab over any of the companies. Like, I just think their slabs look fantastic. I think this card's going to look really good in a CSG slab.
I think CSG looks great.
That one's going to move into the PC pile of, hey, I just want a Ken Griffey Jr. auto to own for, you know, ever. And now this one I will look to potentially move. So that was the biggest reason why I went with them, because I wanted it slabbed and I really like their horror.
Anybody interested in Bill Belichick auto? I got the Bill Belichick rookie auto from Proline.
Did you win on auction that card?
No, I found this at the Chantilly show. Like I said, I don't go in with any targets, but when I see a card that I hardly ever see, and the guy had the thing priced so good.
Oh my Lord, bring that to the National.
It was priced so good.
You're trying to do something with it because I want that.
What were you saying, Dustin, about CSG?
Oh, I was going to say I haven't held one with the new label yet, but obviously, like the case, I've held the
case is the same. The label, yeah. I mean, you know, the label I have.
Yeah. I do like the labels. I actually didn't mind the old labels, but the new labels are cool.
They're they're non-offensive. I mean, that's how I describe them.
They
are completely non-offensive.
Did one of these just go for auction?
Yeah, one went for about $400 at auction.
I was surprised CSG graded a Griffey auto and I didn't pay the extra $2 for it. I thought you had to pay an extra fee to grade the auto, and I didn't, and they graded the auto anyway.
I've been picking up some of those, Steve. Like, here's the thing that's weird about these, that 91 portraits. So you just have like the regular cards, and then they're wrapped. I remember opening these packs. I never got any of the autos out of it, but I don't know if this might be the first football auto. It's got to be close.
Yeah, and they were
91.
It was the first because they were issued by Proline, and I think under that, I think Proline had the license to the Players Association
I got
at the
this
time, and then and it was like the first pack inserted autos, I do believe, definitely for football, and they were like one auto per box for 91. And then in 92, I think they might have been 2 or 3 autos per box. But in 92, they put out multiple cards of each player because it was called Proline Profiles. So each player had like 10 different cards, where in 1991, it just said Proline at the bottom and each person had one card. So the 91s are way more desirable. And there's some decent autographs in there, and there's some cool ones. I mean, there's like an Isaiah Thomas in there with him wearing like a Detroit Lions jacket.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a Milton Berle, like the old comedian. There's him in there.
Yeah,
there's him in there with like a Kansas City Chiefs jacket on. There's a nice, the Muhammad Ali's were in there. And then you also got players. I even think one of the players out of there that's pretty desirable, I think, is Derek Thomas, because he passed away pretty early and doesn't have a lot of stuff out there. And then, of course, the Belichick, because he doesn't sign that much either. And there was coach cards in there. There's a nice Bill Cowher autograph out of the set. And a lot of the guys that we like were in the very beginning stages of their careers, and they signed really nice. Like I have a Deion Sanders one, and he signed it so crispy clean. I saw an Instagram post today with 3 different Deion Sanders autographs. It was a guy who collects Deion Sanders, and the autos didn't look anywhere nearly as good as the that Proline one where he signed it. Looked like a nice fine point tip pen. He signed Sanders S as a $sign and stuff like that. And the Dan Marino was one that my little brother always wanted, and he finally got it actually a couple weeks ago, the old 91 Proline.
Well, the thing too is like it's one per box, but there's like a 400 card checklist or something. Like it's not a small checklist. So
you can get some scrubs.
The odds of getting like the Belichick, the Walter Payton, I want the Walter Payton in there, but of course pricey. The thing though that's confusing on those is people are tricky. You probably saw this on eBay. They're getting those cards. They got those cards signed.
Getting them signed in person, and then like getting them slabbed or whatever.
In person and get them slabbed by Beckett. A lot of people did that back in the day. So it's hard to. It's confusing because you don't know.
That's tricky.
Yeah,
you got to look because the actual certificate of authenticity is in the corner, and it's actually like a notary stamp.
Yeah, it's just a stamp on the corner that says certified autograph. But like a lot of the cards don't have them, and they were just signed in person. But I guess people obviously did that on purpose.
Yeah. The only downside to it, I think, for some people is that the autographs are on the back for almost all of them, I do believe.
Yeah, except from an IFL standpoint, that's not fantastic.
Yeah. Like you would never know that this was a Belichick auto unless you flipped it over, unless you were able to see the.
Well, and have you seen too? They grade them like that. They grade them like back to front.
Yes, they when they encapsulate them, they put them. They put the back of the card on the front.
Cool cards. I mean, because they also like the player will have like a story on the back of it. It's pretty cool stuff.
Well, I like the set to me because it's nostalgic. I mean, to me, I'd like the nostalgia of the photos. They're wearing Zubaz and stuff. Remember the old Zubaz?
Yeah. It's ultimate 90s. Ultimate.
Yeah. Well, and they're pretty reasonably priced too for like the players that you can get.
Oh yeah, they're really nicely priced. You know, when you look at the new Panini Flawless and all that stuff, and the real high quality thick stock cards that people like because they got a serial number on them. But every year they kind of look like you can't tell the difference between a 2018 Flawless and a 2021 Flawless, to be honest. Unless you look at the back.
No.
Everybody knows what the 91 Proline set looks like. I just,
I guess we'll wrap up pretty quick here. I've been going for 2 hours and 15 minutes, and I got a little
Yeah.
bit of an early morning
Yeah.
tomorrow. So, what was I going to ask? Oh, because Dust the Prize insider information. Do you think we see an SGC price decrease before the National? My prediction is either by the end of the National, we see a price change.
Yeah, I have zero information. But I don't think so. I'm going to guess no.
Okay.
But
I don't think a significant one. I'm going to say like $5 maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it could very well be. I don't have anything inside, but
don't you run the company now? Isn't that your decision to make?
Yeah, yeah. No,
we have to battle it out for #1 SGC influencer now with the fight at the National, with the boxing match.
Honestly, it'll be kind of interesting in the future if all these companies are like $10, $11, $12, or whatever, like trying to go back and forth.
I mean, we're heading by the end of this year, I think, for a full-blown price war between most of them.
Yeah. It'll be interesting.
I mean, PSA has gotten down so low that if they maintain this $18, it's like, even if SGC went to $10, I don't think, at the resale value, it's not going to make any sense unless SGC offers a different type of, okay, we're grading for $10 and we're allowing your cards to be worth this much money.
Well, it depends on the cards. I mean, if it's vintage stuff and it's 80s stuff, then you can get by with either or. I mean, a lot of those comps are very, very close. And there's also comps where SGC is higher than PSA at times. It just depends.
Yeah, because it's a different ball game.
Yeah, I mean, once you get into pre 1980 or even 80s stuff, then kind of anything goes.
I know I've looked at a lot of, when I was looking at Jim Brown stuff, like the SGC to PSA comps are basically, it comes down to the eye appeal of the card. Like certain SGCs wild sell PSA because it looks better, you know what I mean, eye appeal wise.
Well, and there's PSA 4s that look better than PSA 6s. I mean, like it's all
vintage gets super weird. That's why, like from a charts and graphs perspective, it really doesn't make sense. As much as I would love to like do a 10-minute video about like how vintage prices are doing, when you look at the charts, they're like this because it varies so much on the low grades on what the cards look like, and in the high grades, like something that actually looks like fairly consistent, like a PSA 7 or 8, they're so expensive or they just don't transact often enough. Like there's just not that many Jim Brown PSA 8s running around out there to have consistent sales to kind of see what the market's doing on cards like that. Yeah, and they're super expensive, so it gets so weird.
And I see a lot of comments about turnaround times being very important, which they are, I guess, if you're trying to capitalize on a season or a market or whatever. But to be quite honest, turnaround times are actually less important now than they have been in the last 12 months. The market isn't changing as quickly as it was. It was changing overnight there for a while. Overnight, weekly, monthly, over one game, stuff was just changing. Now it's like you can sit on a card for 5 months. It's not going to really change in value on a lot of stuff. Actually, on a lot of stuff, the only thing that is going to change it in value is the fact that it's getting graded.
Yeah, that's, I mean, like the PSA play, I mean, I'm very specifically targeting first Bowman stuff because you kind of want to sit on that stuff for 6 months anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't really want to sell that stuff till February or March. So if it takes PSA 6 to 7 months to grade it, I don't really care. Because if I grade it with SGC and get it back in a week, like that really doesn't benefit me because I'm not planning on selling it till then. So you could use that stuff to your advantage too.
I mean, if you're trying to capitalize on a brand new product coming out like Prism, or even when Hoops used to drop and be ridiculously priced and used to warn everybody, don't buy Hoops the first week that it drops, right? Because the singles are going to do nothing but go down in price, but people would do it anyway. I mean, if you're trying to use SGC's weekly turnaround times that they have kind of right now for something like that, I can see that. But like the cards that I'm buying, like dual autos and Hall of Fame autos and things like that, I can send those in and just let them sit for 5 months, because really the only thing that's going to change the value of the card is the fact that I'm getting it slabbed and doing the dirty work that somebody else doesn't want to do.
I think brand loyalty is starting to, I think that'll set into though, because you have really 4 good companies, for the most part. And it's funny because you'll hear people go after BGS, but there's some diehard BGS folks, you'll go after PSA or whatever. Like everyone's got their own deal, I mean, So yeah.
Yeah, and I said it earlier. I said, honestly, if you're not using all four, like if you're in this to just make money and you're not using all four, you're probably doing it wrong.
Oh, I like all the grading companies. There's something that I like about the grading companies individually for myself that would make me, you know what I mean? Like PSA, of course, it's just the fact that it's what they're getting on the secondary market. I like SGC for my stickers. I like the CSG slab, and even with the new label now, is the cleanest looking one out there. I don't own any right now.
I'm really excited to get my Griffey back. I'm really excited to see what my Griffey looks like in that slab.
And BGS for me is still the go-to for patch cards and thick-based cards, because getting a patch, getting a card, a thick card returned in an 8.5 in a BGS slab looks a lot better than getting it back in a PSA 8.
Yeah.
So, and I'm talking about 8s and 8.5s, you know, so. And you see a lot more of the autograph grades on BGS cards. You see a lot of cards, autograph cards, sent off to PSA strictly for the card grade, and they don't get the auto grade touched.
And that might be my issue too, is because I collect a lot of Hall of Fame autos. So for me, it does boil down to SGC, BGS a lot of times. Not nothing, and I'll buy a PSA auto card, but a lot of times people go to those other companies,
right?
You know, for that reason.
I think SGC has gained a lot of traction. I love when SGC card gets a 10 and the auto gets a 10. I love the font of the 1010 next to each other. To me, it's more attractive than the Beckett 9.510 on an SGC slab. And SGC does that for no cost. However, what a lot of people don't realize is that if the autograph isn't graded or doesn't have a 10, that means that SGC, they grade it. But if it doesn't grade a 10, SGC doesn't put a grade on it. So if you see an autograph in an SGC slab that's new, it meant, and it doesn't have a grade on the autograph, that means, in their opinion, it wasn't a 10. So they only give you an autograph grade if it's a 10. So if they think the autograph is flawed, they just strictly grade the card. And a lot of people might think somebody only sent that card in and didn't want the autograph service. That's not the case. The autograph service is automatic. If it doesn't grade a 10, then that means they found a flaw in the autograph. So if you see an SGC slab without an autograph grade, that means SGC thinks the autograph was flawed, not that the person just chose to not get it graded, as opposed to PSA and BGS where you choose the service. And you'll get a grade regardless from those companies.
Right.
Interesting times in the grading space, as always. If nothing else, it makes for great content.
Michael disagree with me on the SGC auto grade.
I actually agree with Michael. I'm not big on the 1010 SGC.
I think it looks pretty good.
I like it, but
it's next to each other, like as opposed to the BGS where it's kind of off to the side or sometimes on the back.
Yeah. So, all right, boys, we might reconvene and do this again next Monday as a pre-national. That was the original plan, and I just decided to go live and DM them the link. So, but we'll see.
It sucks though too. On last thought, I was just thinking like, I'm not gonna have any time to do like, you know, to do the whole editing and stuff at the hotel room for content. Like that national content's coming out way later because I'm there for like a day and a half. There's just no way.
Yeah. So what I did last year real quick was each morning I got up early and like recorded like, okay, here was like my day one recap and then uploaded it from the hotel room.
I don't know if I'm able to get my Skeletor clips in.
Just keep it simple. Steve, maybe we'll try to do, since we're in the same hotel, maybe we'll try to team up and do a little like pop-up live stream or something if the trade nights get a little too spread out or whatever and we just bullshitting around. Maybe we'll I'm bringing my laptop and I'm bringing this camera.
Well, look,
and I'm bringing my secondary backup mic.
There's a go-kart track on the boardwalk, so I say we get 10 YouTube content creators together and we just have it out on the track.
For slabs. Instead of pink slips, we race for slabs.
We just race it out on the track.
All right, Steve, do you have anything planned content-wise coming out this week? I know your schedule's all over the place and whatnot. What you got? Anything that you want?
I have a sports card mail day, which I haven't done in a while because I've been buying a lot of non-sports, but I'm still buying sports. I'm just not showing it as much. But I have a sports card mail day. I have a non-sports card mail day. I have an NBA one But it's like by the time I get around to it, the national will be over and I'll have national content to put out. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like whatever I feel like talking about on that day. I make plans for a video, and then I never planned my last video, the one about the dirty card that I got from eBay authentication process.
Oh yeah, that was funny one.
I mean, that wasn't a planned video. I got the card in the mail, and I was like, you know what? I'm shooting this video in my car on the way to work. And
yeah, you're famous for the live drive.
Yeah, it was live drive format, but not necessarily a live drive. And and I just haven't had time.
You should live stream your drive to the national.
Yeah. Well, for you guys and anybody didn't know, this was how my schedule changed. I went from 4 10s. I worked 4 10-hour shifts from 10 in the morning to 8 at night. Now I work 5 days a week from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m.
Yikes.
So, yeah. So I worked from the morning until the evening to now going in when I would normally be getting off or getting home and being there until sunrise and working an extra day a week. Now it's the same amount of hours, but still that extra day a week is one less day a week that I get off now. I used to work 4 and have off 3. Now I work 5 and have off 2. So as far as putting out content and having time for my family and stuff, it's just, my family takes my priority, So today I spent the day with my wife and didn't put out a video, but that was the decision, that's what I had to do. Now, I got a lot of comments on my video saying, what, you got no seniority, or, well, man, they tear you up and put you on that shift. I mean, there was a positive to it. I got a promotion at the casino, so that's why I had to change shifts. So it was a good thing, but,
Gotta readjust to the new schedule.
Readjustment is all.
Dustin, I mean, you putting out the same Panini Redemption video tomorrow.
Are you? I'll put out a part 2 at 9.
Did you put out a part 1 already? I didn't know you put one out. Did you already put one out?
I threw it out. Yeah.
Okay, you got it. I just made it my video for tomorrow, so now I don't have a part 2. So yeah, so Dustin already has that. I didn't see that one up. Okay, yeah, there we go.
Or actually, I have to make
that's a good clickbait title. I like that one.
Mine's I have to make my reaction video to yours, even though I haven't even seen yours yet.
Hold on, I do like. I'll show off my thumbnail just because I really enjoyed this thumbnail that I made. Hold on, where's my share screen?
Well, we were supposed to do a live stream on the 25th. We talked about our build up to the national, so we all came on tonight. Are we still game for that?
Yeah, I'm still game for next week. Yeah, this is my thumbnail for tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I like that one. I don't know if it'll do well, but I was proud of that one.
Your thumbnails have gotten really good lately. I've noticed.
I've been trying to step my game up on the thumbnail work. But yeah, you have a better title than me. Panini just doesn't care anymore. I like it. So I guess I don't want to derail us again because I am trying to sign off. I'm actually curious, like how many cards are actually pre-2017 that people are still waiting on? Like, is it like 5 or is it like 5,000? Like I truly don't know.
Redemptions.
Yeah, like how many people actually have like a bunch of redemptions pre-2018 sitting there? Actually, I asked that question in my video tomorrow because I'm genuinely curious.
I thought I saw an Instagram post where somebody got a big 2017 Patrick Mahomes redemption filled with points because or something. I saw that.
I'm sure. I'm
where
sure
they're
about this, Dustin.
I'm trying to remember who posted it, so maybe we could look at it and even maybe relate it to the video. But they had talked about Panini just sent me this many points as the redemption for my 2017 Patrick Mahomes auto something, and they were like, it was a big mess.
I did get some of those comments, but then I also I had one in my video. I mentioned there's another channel where the guy's talking about he for 150 points he could get a Tom Savage auto.
Oh, I definitely had some fun pulling up the Panini Points website in my video for sure.
Yeah, but then I had a guy comment that was like, "Oh, they've given me awesome stuff," So I was like, "Cool." I mean, good to hear all sides of it. I mean, hopefully it's not all bad.
Yeah, I think the thing that they really pissed me off was that they pulled the white sparkle packs off there. And you have to pay cash for those now. Like that was dirty. And the big thing, I don't know if you said this in yours. Why can't you trade points in for sealed product?
Oh no, I didn't bring it up.
I talked about that. Put freaking Prism retail blasters up there. It's better than most of the cards they have listed on there.
Well, I mentioned the $68,000 VIP ticket, and
I didn't even go down that path because that was a whole nother.
there's a guy that came out and he's like, yeah, but you're getting all this sealed product and it's like 2021 Prism football. And I'm thinking like, that's not the same as like previous Prism product. I mean,
yeah,
that's cool. But I mean, I don't know, that to me, I feel like they're like, we printed a ton of this. We can sell a massive ticket and then we'll give cases of the.
I can't wait. So they printed a ton of Prism football. I can only imagine how much Prism basketball they're printing this year on top of it.
Well, you said it in your video today. Silver is becoming the base card. I completely have.
Yeah, I treat
silver that today, and I was like, man, I've been thinking that for so long, and I just don't say it because I don't talk about the sports cards that much and what I'm buying, but I do feel like the silver is becoming the base card.
Yeah, I thought about making that video. I already pissed a lot of people off today because I cracked the slab. Apparently, that sends me to hell, but I don't know. We'll see. Dustin, what you got? Anything else spicy coming out this week, or do you not know yet?
I kind of just take it as it comes. I'm kind
of the same way.
Well, it's funny. I was going to talk about going in, and because we talked about grading is going to be picking up. Yeah, it's getting cheaper. It's like, all right, time to buy raw and grade. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to like the vintage capital of the world, the National. Maybe a strategy is getting some good looking vintage stuff. I'm going to be with Ryan McClanahan, who knows all that stuff back to front. Maybe he helps me find some good vintage stuff. And then I'm watching AIH Sports video, and he's like, yeah, so I'm thinking about buying some vintage and grading. And I was like, all right, well, whatever. Like I was going to make a video about that, but I didn't want to make it like the day after, he made that video. But that was, I was also thinking the same thing. But honestly, like whether it be vintage, modern, ultra modern, I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities to buy raw and grade. So that might be my next video, is something like that.
All right. Tomorrow I talk about the Panini redemptions, and then I got more Prism retail that I opened. That's a pretty funny one, and then I'll have a CSG video at some point in time, as long as FedEx and their predictability on when they actually deliver packages is guesswork at best. So hopefully I get that back tomorrow, and that video will be up later this week. And then I'm sure some other company will do something semi-stupid that we'll have to run and make videos on. So.
Yeah, that's been a little bit like lately. There hasn't been quite as much of that.
Other than the PSA $18 thing, it's kind of calmed down. But I think we're probably going to get slammed with a bunch either at the National or right before the National.
Yeah,
I know of at least one thing that I would do a Red Alert video on that may get announced this week. That I cannot reveal what that is, but I know of at least one thing that's close to being announced. So we'll see if that happens or not. But that's a tease. It's a tease in the business, as they say.
Wow.
So, all right, boys and girls, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. We'll catch you guys and girls on the next one. If you're not subscribed to Flipping Steve, you should be. If you're not subscribed to the Sports Card Dad at any one of his 17 channels that he has.
I'm just trying
that he doesn't actually post videos to anymore.
Just eating up all the space on the algorithm. On the machine.
So we may be back next Monday. Maybe we'll do it over on Dustin's channel or Steve's and run this back. We'll see, as a pre-national. And then, the National's almost here. Hope you're ready. We'll catch you guys and go later.
All right. See you guys.